Yes, sir! We are back! We are back. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We live. We live. We are currently live. What the fuck just happened to my chat? Alright, hold on. Don't know why you did that. I had no idea why you did that. I gotta go over here. Is that fine? That's okay, right? Yeah. Oh, that's certainly not fine. Pull this. Nope. What? What the fuck? Bro. What are you doing? Hold on here. I have no idea why OBS just like scrunkled so much. It's scrunkle bumfold. And now it looks awkward. I have to fucking fix it. That is not how that shit should be looking. Where? Oh, is it this? It's probably this. Yeah, it's this. Okay, here we go. It's that. There you go. There you go. Got it. And then I pull this. That. No. Well. No. Pull this like this. Pull this here. And then do. There you go. Sorry, did not. I had to do something real quick. Alright. Welcome in, Bracky. Ready. Alfifi. Art. It's always great to see art here. Hello, Dragon. Pam. I was about to say Pawn. My fault. Mr. Hunter. Isaac. Fresh. Hello, everyone. Striker. Mr. Camel. Sea Waddle. Guy. Okay, there's a few people here who I don't know if I've seen before. Hello. Since he will be in Ascendance. I don't know about that, Bracky. I don't know. Will he be in Ascendance? I don't know if he will. Isn't Najarala the apex monster of the swamp? Well, okay, well, to answer, well, I mean, who would be apex of the swamp? I guess there's a lot of strong monsters that do inhabit the swamp. Ceanataur could inherit swamp. Gravios can inherit swamp. I think, can Gravios? No. No, it's Basarios, my fault. I mean, Duramboros probably is like the apex of the swamp, if I had to guess. Alfifi, yes! Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Come on. Spot that, Magda video was great, and a lot of people voiced their opinions in the comments. Oh, yeah. I'm glad people liked it. I even had, Mari, Dead Upon Mari. She even commented. She was like, thank you. And I'm glad she wasn't like, because I gave a little bit of criticism, because I'm like, I kind of saw the video, I saw the title and the thumbnail. It kind of gave me a different, like, idea of what the video was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be an analysis video. But looking back at her other videos that she did with Arkveld and Mount Zeno, if I saw those first and then I saw this, I most likely thought it was going to be an analysis video. But since it was the first video I saw, I didn't think that. But she was very chill about it. She was like, nah, I get that a little bit. Duramboros? Probably. A lot. I even saw someone who was like, hey, I like her video. I'm gonna go subscribe to her. I'm like, yes! Yes! That's what I'm talking about, baby. We love supporting each other on the Monster Hunter community. And she did. I'm not gonna lie. That video was good. Did you guys like her video? Assuming you guys should have watched my video, and then you should also watch her video. Because there's not as much pausing and stuff like that. But like, she really did her homework with analyzing, like, the entire design aspect, both sound and visual design of Magnum Hollow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now I'm super curious on what she thinks about, Arkveld. I'm very curious. But real quick, I got to up. You already know we got the boss fight. Oh, this is boss fight archive. This ain't boss fight database. Bro, who is you? Ah, we don't have boss fight database. But I guess we have another one. This one comes with the cutscene, so we have to watch this. It was a very informative video. Yes, it was, from way back in the early streams. Wait, what did you say? Wait, who? Wait. Oh, Alexander. Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm sorry. I was getting confused with your messages, Bracky. I'm sorry. Hello, Alexander. Hello. Hello, Volcano. I'm excited Snake Wife returns in DLC, right, Capcom? Right? Out of curiosity, how strong do you guys think Najarala is? And to just to say this in case you don't know who Najarala is like the only snake wyvern in like the series. Dalamadur doesn't count, same way. Although you could consider Dalamadur as a snake monster because it is pretty much a snake, but it's an Elder Dragon. Kind of think of it like the Nakarko situation. Nakarko is a cephalopod, but he's not classified as a cephalopod like Nudra and Zuu because he's an Elder Dragon. He is a very big monster. Very long monster. And in my opinion, he's probably, like, the strongest monster in his, like, tier of monsters. I think you can literally fight... Can you not, like, fight Kezu on the same, like, tier as him? That's crazy. I could be making that shit up, though. I know... Oh, can you... No. Yeah, it's like... Isn't it, like, Nibblesnarf, Kezu, like, Blangonga, like, you can fight those guys on his level. Me and Viper talked about this a little bit. Oh, I thought the midget plushie was called Alexander. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Which Elder Dragon do you think has the best chance to appear in Descendants? And that was already been confirmed. Shagru. Most likely Shagru's coming back. I mean, they already gave Gormagala the subplot of literally having, like, frenzied monsters in the game. Like, there are frenzied monsters in Wilds, so not having Shagru just kind of doesn't make sense. Shagru Magala is like a 95% chance of coming back. That's like the one Elder Dragon where I'm like, yeah, it's coming back. Unless you're talking about, like, well, you said not confirmed, because I was about to say, if it's not confirmed, if it is confirmed, then Kushala and Lao Shenlong, but, you know. Even Tito's the same rank as Kezu? Really? I thought he was, like, a tier above. But I could be wrong. Around Nargacuga level, also, yeah, you fight Kezu, Rathian, maybe someone else around then. If I need to compare Najarala to other monsters, I would put him in, like, the Anjanath, Nargacuga, Misu tier. Okay, well, that's kind of... So, like, weak Apex kind of level. Anjanath is an Apex, but, like weaker of the sense of, like, being able to, like, punch above, like, his tier class. Alright, Gale, I fucking see you. Gale reacted to the message on Discord with a snake emoji. I see you. Wait, hold on. We are also going to be watching some Unnatural History channel. It's like a 22-minute video. We're not going to react to it, like, right this second, but I got it pulled up right now. Now, here's the thing. As a power scaler, I like to kind of challenge myself, right? Rathalos, I'm not going to lie. Rathalos has so many instances where I can pull from to, like, demonstrate his strength. But Najarala? That's hard. There are no other snake monsters other than, like, one of the strongest monsters in the verse, Dalamadur, who is, like, not even, I can't even really compare them. And then we only get one cutscene of him, no turf wars. Oh, that's it. Who is Najarala? Najarala is the one in the thumbnail for this stream. He's the only snake wyvern. Najarala seems pretty strong overall. I feel like he could match up against someone like Misu, albeit I don't really know my shit on Najarala. Well, that's why we're going to find out. We are going to find out. We are power scaling him right now. If you guys wanted to just come into the stream and go, Spotball, just give me a quick little answer. Can you just, like, tell me how strong he is? I can't do that. The reason when I do how powerful is in my stream is the research purpose for the monster. You guys are getting an in-depth look at how I research monsters for videos and stuff. So I can't give you the answer. The answer will be maybe like 3 or more or so hours into the stream. Because right now is research time. But I can tell you that I think he's, like, way stronger than the monster. Well, maybe not way stronger because Rathian is in there. And Rathian actually isn't that, like, weak at all. But he's pretty damn strong considering in the bracket he's put into. Me and Tiger, me and Viper had a discussion that, like, with certain Apex monsters, Najarala would just win against them. Like, the worst, like, the best, absolute best matchup to put Najarala with, in terms of, like, an Apex monster, would be Odogaron. Odogaron is small, not that physically strong, and he is super weak to paralysis, which is what Najarala uses. That guy is not good. And Najarala can also dig. It is, like, one of the worst matchups for Odogaron ever. Now, Odogaron could actually still win, purely due to bleed. But, like, Odogaron has the real, like, despite being an Apex monster of the Rod and Veil, Odogaron has a real chance of dying here against the Najarala. But this is like a bad matchup kind of scenario, right? This is why I say matchups matter in Monster Hunter. You can't just say one monster wins against every other monster in that tier, right? And because if you say that, it's like, oh, I wonder if Rajang has anything to say about that. At the bottom of the ocean, where Legiacris dragged him. Applies belt to Rathian, Anja, and Barioth level monsters. Trust. Okay. Okay, Pam. I think Saragios would get his ass beat by Najarala. You see, that's interesting. Because I think Najarala actually could beat Saragios. Saragios is a weird monster at a power scale. Because Saragios, in terms of, like, his weight class, punches way above. He has, like, a really strong, like, ability, which is his serrated scales that he throws. Those things can, like, almost one-shot a Rathian, and that's impressive. He literally ties with Gore, and he does decent against Raidao. But if a Najarala were to wrap its coils around, like, Saragios, I think Saragios dies. It's unfortunate. That is to say, though, if Saragios just, like, spams that shit, just spams his consumables, random bullshit, go, I think Najarala is just dead. Considering also that Saragios is pretty fucking accurate with whenever he hits something. There is always event quests. Monsters say something. Mosswine goes from weak to god kill. Okay. I want to see a turf war between Anjanath wrap around a. Oh, not Anjanath. I'm sorry. Najarala wrap around a brute wyvern. See, that's interesting because we have seen like Piscine wyverns and leviathans wrap around other monsters, and usually they can, like, the brute wyvern can, like, get out of it, or the fanged wyvern in Zenogre's case. But Najarala is just so much longer and is specifically built to wrap around things that it might be way harder for, let's say, like, let's say for, like, a Zinogre to get out of it. Right? So, here's what we're gonna do. If you hunters don't already know how this works, I have a notepad on my phone. I have a notepad on my phone, and I'm now just realizing that my phone is at 12%. Holy fuck, I thought it was at like 32%. It's actually at 12%. I'm an idiot. Anyways, how this works is we go over certain aspects of a monster. We go over their strengths first, and then we go towards their weaknesses first. So right now, in my notepad on my phone, I'm going to be writing down Najarala power scale. And then I'm going to put strengths. And then we're just going to talk about his strengths. We're going to list them realistically, because, you know, we don't want to wank up monster, right? We want to be realistic with our power scaling. Could Glavenus cut Najarala into pieces? Yes. No, it's like, could he get him? Probably. Najarala is pretty fucking long. I mean, he is like somewhat speedy, but he's very long. The chances of Glavenus just like cutting a piece of Najarala is pretty high. Killing him instantly, I don't know about that, but at least cutting a piece off him, yeah, that's pretty likely. Okay. Glavenus is the potential man, as we previously established. Yep. As we previously established, he is the potential man of the Monster Hunter series. Always could, never is. He's actually make monster notes, like, in the game. Yes, I'm making notes. Like, my last stream, well, not my last stream, but my last, Monster Hunter Monday had me power scaling Zinogre. So you can go and check out those streams. Technically, the stream crashed, but that was because of YouTube, not, like, my PC or OBS or anything. But I power scaled Zinogre. And I still have the notes right here. I still have, like, the notes. I have strengths, I have weaknesses, I have Stygian Zinogre strengths and weaknesses. Like, we're thorough with this stuff. Now, again, the kind of thing about this is that I don't really got much to go with here when it comes to Najarala. We are going to have to make some assumptions. But what we could do is look at certain things with gameplay. The cutscene, the one cutscene that we have of him, parallels to General Snakes and and we also have the Unnatural History channel video to watch, which could give us a little bit more insights, right? That means Najarala just ginormous. Let's compare Najarala to Rathlow's size is, and the smallest is, well, yes, but keep in mind that's length. In terms of bulk, I don't really know if that's going to be applicable. But yes, in terms of length, Najarala is like one of the longest monsters. Actually, I wonder who's longer, Jin or Najarala? That's a great question. Because that could give people a better visualization of like the actual length of Najarala, rather than just saying he's long, you know? So here, hold on. Look at this. I'm going to the Monster Hunter wiki. I don't like really doing this too much, but just to look at, like, the length. That's it. Just to quickly look at the length. Let's see here. Holy fuck, this guy's long. I thought it was 4,000? Nah, large crown's 5,000. Okay, so if we then, this is just length though. This is the overall, like, size and bulk, but this is just length. So, Jin, let's look at Jin real quick. Oh my goodness, hello, Gnarly. Who are you people? Yeah, we got some new people in chat. Fuck. Wait, Jin doesn't have a size? I thought Jin had like a very small size, discrepancy. Like, very small size, like, size range. I didn't think there was ever going to be, like, huge gold or small gold, crowns, but I guess it's just one size. Yeah, so Najarala is longer than, Jindahad. And if you want to see, he's always the same. Yeah, I kind of assumed that, but I thought that, but I also wanted to kind of assume that he had, like, I don't know, like, by 100 or so, like, different, like, centimeters. Like, he would just be, like, slightly, ever so slightly bigger or smaller. Jindahad size. Where is that size comparison of Zoshia and shit? Because I think that's the starting point of the stream. We should analyze the size of Najarala, just so you guys can tell. Geo, do not stop spamming. Comparison. Ah, here we go. That's Raydal, that's New Udra, that's Gore. Okay. So real quick, Najarala is a little bit longer than both Jindahad and Zoshia. If you want the scale, that's how long Najarala is. Well, Najarala is actually longer than this. However, in terms of bulk, yes, these monsters are bigger. But if you want length, this is basically what you got. This is what I'm saying when I say that Najarala is not on the same level as the monsters he's put with. I'm serious. Now, to be fair, I was going based on the wiki, but even if the wiki is off by, let's say, like 50 feet, it still would be about the same. So even with a grain of salt on Najarala's, like, max size, which, by the way, I am talking about Najarala max size. If we were to take about the medium, like the median, he would be slightly smaller, right? He would be slightly smaller than Jindahad and Zoshia, but that's still massive. Can I get it again? Massive. How powerful is Tidal compared to normal? I mean, he's the only, out of Tidal and normal Najarala, Tidal's the only one that can get the Frenzy. Or who can become an Apex, which is strong enough to overcome the Frenzy. So, at least to say a good bit stronger. I'm about to say, why is my thing looking like that? Okay, there you go. Got it better. So, that's the first thing we're gonna jot down for strengths. Because, I'm sorry, like, size doesn't mean everything, right? Look at Brigitte. Look at Odogaron, right? Look at Ataukal. Size isn't everything. However, when you're the same size, about the same size, or your max size is bigger than the largest Leviathan in the series, I mean, you gotta count that as a strength. This just means, again, I do have to preface this. This is purely on length. Length. Not pure size, but length. So, Jin and Zoshia are, like, bigger, in a sense, than Najarala. but not by a ton, but they are bigger monsters. But in terms of length, literally comparable. I probably have to put that in like parentheses. So here. The length of Najarala is on par. I'm gonna say on par with, because I don't know if I want to use the max size, if I want to use the medium size. I'm just gonna say on par with them, just because Najarala literally, in terms of length, is on par with them, regardless of if I use the medium or if I use the max. So I'm just gonna say that. It's on par with length-wise Jindahad and Zoshia. Zoshia is just extra credit. I could have just said Jindahad, because everyone knows how big Jindahad is. But, yeah. Oh my goodness, Pagan. Hello, Pagan. Hello. How are you doing? Long snake. Now it makes sense why, if you were to make Najarala an Elder Dragon, makes sense. That is crazy, is it not? Hold on, isn't that actually crazy? So, like, Najarala is, like, in terms of, like, monster tier, he's put on the same level as, like, Rathian and shit. However, he's, like, he's as long as Jin, and kinda almost as big, but not quite. And then if you were to make Najarala an Elder Dragon, it makes sense why Dalamadur is so fucking massive. It's like, can we get an Elder Dragon version of Najarala? Bet. Why is he wrapping around a mountain? That's what you said, Elder Dragon Najarala. That's what I gave you. Okay. Got that. Now, we are going to watch the cutscene and some gameplay, general gameplay, and the cutscene, the one cutscene of Najarala, okay? We're gonna go in depth, we're gonna analyze it, we're going to see what could and could not be a strength, alright? Let's see. Have you seen the Medusa from Dragon's Dogma? We get this kind of psychic movements from Najarala and Wilds. I think he'd be one of the best fights in the whole game, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I think Najarala was actually kind of a fun fight in old gen. And just imagining him coming back with all of the movement and stuff that we now have for, like, Monster Hunter games now, that'd be cool. Oh, here, you know what? I'll actually turn off. I just heard something go off on my computer. That kind of scared me. I don't know what happened. Are we still here, Hunters? Just want to make sure. Something went off on my computer. I just heard like a little beep boop noise. Are we okay? Just wanted to make sure. Are we good? We good? Yes, we good? Okay. Just making sure. It scared me. My heart sank for a second there, Hunters. Alright, so we're actually going to listen to this, because I'm not sure if all of you have seen this. So, shh. So, I'm going to let it play out once, and then we're going to review it, okay? We're going to review the cutscene. And why in the fuck is the audio not going off? The audio should be going. Why is it not going? Gregory did the beat go. Okay. That was stupid. That was funny too, though. And made the audio turn off? There's no fucking way. Bro. Window here. No? Why? Hold on, Hunters, because this does throw a wrench in everything else. Because we're gonna need to listen to a video later, so we kind of need to like listen to stuff. Why is this not going? Okay, hold on. if I were to do this, and then some of this. I mean, you hear me. You hear me, but you don't hear the screen. Why is that? Okay, hold on. Capture client area. With the window of the same type, executable. Does this work? No. God damn it. Bro, I literally tested this a second ago. It was fine. Brody, why? Okay, but what it, whoop. What the fuck is happening? What in the fuck? Bro, what's happening? Go to automatic here. And the audio is back? There's no way it's back. It doesn't say that it's back. What I miss? I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm sorry, hunters. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to give me a second. Hold on. Just the... We're gonna go... like here. Tell me if you guys can hear the audio. Alright, I'm gonna let it play. Tell me if you can hear the audio. No. Okay, that's what I thought. So I can hear it. Why could this be? What could this mean? Also, hello, ABD. Hello, ABD. How you doing? Matchup that popped into my head when I saw the titles. Nargacuga versus Najarala. Najarala might win, but it'd be a good fight. This is bad because, again, I do need... would it be this? I have no idea why it would be that. No? This? No. Okay, you know what, hunters? Give me one. Give me 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get rid of the browser. Basically, I'm gonna get rid of the screen. And I'm going to reset this because this should just be how it is, but it's not being the way that it is, so... Unless I got... Wait, is it client? No, it wouldn't be client area. I need client areas turned on. Wait a minute. Nope, that's not it. Wait, what does that do? Hold on. What does that do? Summon Old Man Tiger? I don't know. Oh. Hello, ABD. Thank you for becoming a light bowgun. I mean, you were already a light bowgunner, but thank you for being it again. Summon tech support? I might need a summon tiger. So annoying. Literally test things before it happens, and then the thing doesn't happen. Is it this? Ah! Hey! Hey! Ah! Oh, wait a minute. No, sorry, I got a little too hyped there. I almost missed Gnarly's thing. Gnarly with the 5 gifted memberships. W. Now you hunters should be hearing it. Tell me if you hear it. Yes? Okay, finally. Yeah, baby. Who needs Tiger? I need Tiger. I need Tiger so many times, but not this time. Not this time, buddy. Buckaroo. All right. We are back on schedule, baby. All right, so we're going to watch the cutscene like we planned to in full, and then once it's done, we're going to go back and we're going to analyze the cutscene. Okay? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? You're gonna hear Gnarly's gifted stuff go up again and again and it. Hey yo, Art with the $10.
Oh yeah.
I still don't know why that doesn't show up sometimes. I need to fucking fix that. My turn to add to the list. Hell yeah. And you know what that means? He reached the goal. An extra hour of stream, baby. We get an extra hour of stream. I love being here, and I hope you guys do too. All right, let's watch this. Thank you so much, Art. Everyone, you know what? I already see W's. I already see W's in the chat for Art. W's. All right, that was the cutscene. Almost a whole minute of the cutscene. That's actually great. It's more closer to like 50 seconds, to be fair. But, okay. So what can we gather from this? Nargacuga is getting washed. It's so funny. I said, what can we gather from this? And that's the first message I read. That's so funny. Buff Longsword? Is that Kitchewatch's Longsword? I don't know what. That's definitely not big enough to be a Swax or a Charge Blade. I don't even know if he has a Charge Blade. That's probably Longsword. Bro's not a snake. He got arms. Well, snakes technically are descendants of like lizards, so you know they do technically have little stumps, or they have like a thing in their body. That's like vestiges of like what used to be legs. Damn, that boy big. That's crazy. Yo, got the hunter going crazy. The hunter's tweaking out. Okay, so we'll actually mute the audio, and then we'll put back on the Wii music, because I know you guys love the Wii music so much. So, here's for a strength. Has projectiles that are used as land mines of sorts. So this he's not even long. Not only can he dig, but he also has a way to control the field, and he can make any of them detonate just by using the sound. Either his tail or his, like, back frills. They're not, like, technically frills, but, like, the back little plating on his back can, like, make a frequency to shatter them. I'm gonna have to look back in my Smash or Pass recording, because I said pass. I was lying to my... Uses sound to attack. Imagine we fought a monster who's blind. He uses amazing hearing to know where they're going. He doesn't just use sound to attack, although, no, he does use sound to attack, but it's not like his only method. But yes, I do see what you're saying, person. I do see what you're saying. Oh, can dig. Because Najarala can dig. That's like one of his like moves where like he goes into the ground and then he comes up. But we'll just watch this. So these can explode. And by the way, these are like grenades. Because you see these little bits right here? That's not just for show. That's basically shrapnel. So not only do they explode, but like they explode like an actual grenade. Now, would they be enough to just like take down even like, I don't know, a Kongolala in one go? No. But they do enough damage to the point where like you shouldn't get hit by this. But I will say this. Like, if their frequency is loud enough to... The frequency is loud enough to physically discomfort and, like, in a sense... How do I say this? In a sense, like, because they rattle his tail and his frills to a point where it disorients even the hunter. Do you believe that this would do something like a sonic bomb in a sense? It's like a miniature sonic bomb to monsters that are who basically are sensitive of hearing. So like think of Nargacuga. So if Najarala were to do this to a Nargacuga, do you think it would have a disorienting effect on Nargacuga? Yangaruga doesn't work. Yangaruga's like immune and shit. But maybe it could. Now, it could be the case that we are so small as a hunter comparatively to Nargacuga that this just kind of like destroys us. Right? Think of it like a blue whale making a main call right next to with a human right next to it, and we go fucking liquefy. Our insides liquefy. It could be that. It could be that situation. But considering this isn't even like the main form of attack, it's not like a Tigrex where the sound is the attack. It's more like a byproduct of detonating the scales. Pair him to fight Diablos. I'm not gonna lie. I think this would be a horrible matchup for like Najarala. Najarala is longer, but like he's in no case as strong as Diablos. But you could have a point. Like enough of like the rattling could like irritate Diablos to the point of making him resurface. Although I will have to say this. It's not so much like a sound-based attack like Tigrex, Cantor, Shara, right? It's not. Right? This is not the attack. This is a byproduct of the attack. Can we say that, right? This isn't so much the attack, because again, the attack is to detonate the scales. That is the attack. It is just that the frequency is so, I guess, at such a high pitch, in a sense, that it could be disorienting for smaller creatures and monsters that are sensitive to sound. So I'm gonna put that there. Land by sorts. The frequency of Najarala's... What is it like? I don't even know what you would call this. What would you call this? like, shaking? Frill shaking? What would we call this? So you see, like, his back here? His back also does that shaking movement. It does the same thing. Rattle? Okay, rattle's a good one. The frequency of Najarala's rattle can be very disorienting for small monsters and monsters that are sensitive. Oops, didn't push right. Sensitive to hearing. And that's basically what we kind of have here. What about movement? Do we think he's mobile? Yes or no? Now, I'm not talking about Odogron level mobile, but I'm talking about, like, if he need to dodge, if something were to try to attack his head, he would have enough, like an Anjanath would try to bite his head. Do we think he's mobile enough to just move out of the way? I personally think so. It's just that he's really big, but I think he's, despite how big he is, he's pretty limber. God, holy fuck, dude. Are you guys seeing this? Here's the thing. When you're like, is he really? It's like, is Najarala really the same, like, length as Jin Nahad? Brody, look at that. Look at that. God damn! Like, our body size, the entire size of a human is like the length of like one of these rattles right here. God damn! I think considering monsters like Narga are disrupted by regular sonic bombs, the sonic resonation from the plates rattling would have the same effect. Okay, here's what I will say about the rattling and like the frequency. I don't think it would have the exact same effect as a sonic bomb, purely because a sonic bomb is so sudden, right? Like one second, no sound, no disruptancy. The second, and a giant sonic bomb goes off, right? And it disrupts you. This would be more like, it's more like if someone were, Najarala's like rattling and stuff, it's more like if someone were to yell in your ear and it's really loud, so you hold your hands up to your ears because it's so loud, you know? It's not like a flashbang in a sense, but it's like a it hurts my ears kind of thing, and it disorients you. So it'd be like a slightly longer lasting sonic bomb rather than a BAM! It happened and it's done, you know? Although, to be fair, it doesn't take that long for the frills to explode. So it might actually be more akin to a sonic bomb. But it's not exact. I'm just trying to make the distinction that it's not exact to a sonic bomb. That's just the distinction I'm trying to make. Does the scales inflict bleed? That is a great question. Do they inflict bleed? I don't believe so. Alright, so far I have the length of Najarala's on par with the lengthwise of Jin Nahad and Zoshia. Has projectiles that are used as landmines of sorts that can be used to control the battlefield. Just say that. And then the frequency of Najarala's rattle can be very disorienting for small monsters and monsters that are sensitive to hearing. Yes. To the point that it can stun them for a brief time. Yes. Alright, now we're just gonna look at some gameplay here. Which, by the way, holy crisp. Got this bitch on 2160p. God damn. You never seen no GU. You've never. Oh, this isn't even GU. This is fucking 4U. You never seen no 4, you fucking... You never seen this shit before. Goodbye? Oh, wait, who's saying goodbye? Oh, Mad's just saying goodbye. Okay, bye, Mad. Considering the size of Najarala, I still think that they can, startle large monsters that are around Ginkuku size. Yes, I think so, too. We're just gonna kind of watch this and just gain some, general points. I think, here, I'll put this right here. Despite the that is crazy, right? Like, this guy is just as long, is on par with the lengthwise of Jin and Zoshia, yet he is way faster than them. Can we say that? Yes or no? Like, Najarala is noticeably faster than Jin. Now, again, you can see the body right here and go, yeah, he's not as big as Jin, but lengthwise, literally on par. And so we'll put that, despite, I said dispute, despite, the size of Najarala, he is deceivingly fast. There you go. Okay. And yeah, see, because then you gotta like get out of this, because then he's going to go under. Ah, damn it! He didn't show it. It wasn't at a good angle. Who here remembers just being like trapped in the fucking hitboxes of Najarala? Man, that shit was so funny. Like literally this, like healing and being like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Because as a gunner, this is like the worst spot for me. Now, as maybe like a longsword player like this guy is, that's not really the worst thing. An adult human is around the size of Najarala's beak? Yes. Okay, hold on. No, hold on. Did any of you notice that? Okay, see? So Najarala just sent these scales out, right? And then they explode. You can see the shrapnel. But notice how this one didn't explode. This one on the left here didn't explode. Notice that. So, obviously, because of certain frequencies, the further you are from the thing that's making the noise, the less you're going to be able to hear it. So, Najarala can explode these landmines, and this is still good to be exploded. Najarala comes a little bit closer, he can still explode this. But it's not like he can explode all of the landmines, all the scales, in like a giant area. Right? So we'll put that as a weakness. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, hunters. We'll put that as a weakness. Although it's not necessarily a weakness, but it's more something to note, right? It's something to put down as a note. So just keep that in mind. Najarala has paralysis, and I want to see him use it. Oh, shit. Ride him, cowboy. God, you know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I would like Najarala back, but then you actually see Najarala's fight, you see his cutscene, it's like, damn, I really do want him back. You know? I like the whole, like, Aztec, like, what's it, Quetzalcoatl, like, design of him. I think so. I could be making that, I might have butchered the name, to be fair. By the way, this is the first monster I ever used hammer against, so this is a very important monster to me. You know what, Bracky? I understand. God damn, why are you looking at me like that, bro? I'm sorry, Najarala. I'm sorry. Why are you looking at me like that? You see that? Damn. Quetzalcoatl. I always butcher the name whenever I say it. It's the same thing with the fucking pterosaur. I always butcher the name. I'm sorry. Yes, but that is who I'm referring to. Volcano. Okay, I just want to see him dig. Dig, 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 dig. Yes, okay, so it's kind of hard to see. But he can dig. He goes under, and then he comes out of the ground. See, so he goes under right here. And then he then quickly goes, like he pops out to do a hit. Now, I wouldn't say he's like, he digs around like Diablos, or he spends a lot of his time in the ground like Diablos. But it should be mentioned that if he really needed to, maybe he could just like dig to get out of the way. He uses his paralysis when he does the wraparound move to prevent you from escaping. Do we count that as intelligence? I wouldn't count that as intelligence necessarily, rather than like a hunting strategy. And strategy isn't necessarily a form of intelligence. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I mean, Najarala isn't stupid, but like I wouldn't consider that like smarts. But I will put down here the ability to dig. Has the ability to dig underground. Yeah, this is so cool. I also love how fucking HD this goddamn footage is. Holy fuck, I swear it didn't even look like this on my when I was playing Najarala, this shit didn't even look like this. Do we think he would do that when he wraps around larger monsters? Now that is a great question. Now, here's the thing. I don't think we'll actually get into the Unnatural History channel aspect of this a little bit later. Because, truthfully, I mean, there's not too much we can really gather from just purely gameplay. Right? Not like a ton. I mean, actually, there's a good bit, but it's not like an absolute massive amount. Yeah, damn, fucking sweep the leg, baby. I will say this, I don't know the validity of this, alright? I'm getting this from Viper. However, when I asked the Viper, how potent do you think Najarala's, paralysis like Venom is? He said, think of it basically like a Great Gyros kind of thing. I was like, on par? He's like, basically, yeah. Which, that's very impressive. Great Gyros' paralyzing venom is very strong. It's what keeps him alive against Odogaron. So, now, take that with a grain of salt. We don't know how to specifically quantify it. Because again, we don't see it used against really anyone else other than the Hunter. But, that is what my sources, aka Viper, told me. Title Najarala is smarter than classic Najarala, if you ask me. Title Najarala has to, in a sense, be smarter with the shit he pulls off. Well, not like smarts, but like, clever enough to pull off the stuff. Now, what about armoring? What do we think about armoring? Like, right here, see how he's striking the tail that don't have the scales? He's able to do that, right? But then he tries attacking... Nope. So there he can attack. However, where these plates are right here, the weapon bounces off. Now, that could easily be because he has green sharpness, to be fair. So, like, this isn't the sharpest blade. But he does at least make a distinction that, like, yes, this is obviously more heavily, this is more armored than over here. I wouldn't say armor is anything, like, crazy. Just, like, has armoring. Has, like, okay armoring. Strategy doesn't equal smart. 4K orcs can strategize, but comparatively they're dumbest. Yes. Has potent paralysis. Oh shit, I just missed it going under. Dig, Najarala, dig! And it's gone. That's very frightening that a monster that big could just like, just completely come out of like the ground. Imagining you're just like over there like chilling with Kelbies and then this big ass fuck ass snake monster comes out of nowhere. Nah, give that boy a Jindahad play toughness upscale? No, we can't do that. Come on now. I said we gotta be realistic. I'm not sure if there's too much more that we can... Ooh. Where'd he go? Yeah, no, he do be digging. It's not just like a one move thing that he does. No, he do be digging. Okay, so far we got like 5 things. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 things so far. He keeps his head close to his backside. That is smart. His backside isn't protected as the rest of him. I don't know if that's on purpose though, with the explicit intention of protecting his backside, or if it's just because that's how a snake usually does. They just kind of coil up, so there's not like more of their body that could get picked off. Digging into your... You see that? Sorry, I was drinking some tea. So he sends out his scales. But instead of... Okay, that's weird. Okay, hold on. I actually might have to, like, listen to this. Did he roar? I mean, his rattle's going off, but it kind of looked like he roared at it and it went off. Alright, so there... Oh, I never noticed that. So he can just roar at the same frequency. So he doesn't necessarily need his scales or his rattle. Like his frill and his rattle right here, he doesn't necessarily need them. Like, yes, these are kind of shaking, but they're not shaking in the same way. You also see like this little effect around his mouth and his head. You see that? Oh, I have to like slow it down. Here, let me slow it down. Let me slow it down for the people in the back. Okay, probably turn that off because I don't want to hear that. So even if his back frills were to get destroyed, and even if his rattle, like the end of his tail, were to get cut off, he can still use, he can still explode his, scales. Although, if these, if this was destroyed, and his tail gets cut off, he doesn't have any more scales to destroy, unless they're already out. But that's a strength, right? That would 100% be disorienting if a monster were to, like, be right in front of him and he were to do that. That's a strength. I actually didn't know that. Can explode his thrown out scales by using his voice. Doesn't need the rattle to explode his scales. Great. I'm not too sure. Okay. I'm not too sure what else we got. I mean, we got a decent bit. I'm not gonna lie. From this one video, we got a decent bit of, like, his kit, what he can do, some implications. Remember how cool he was? I really want my long boy back. I know, right? Every time you see Najarala, you're like, damn. And it's like you see him and you fought him too, where it's like, yes, I would love for him to come back. By the way, can I just say that isn't it so cool that, like, you got this from like a DS? Like, you can fight Najarala, like a Najarala as, like, a monster as cool as Najarala on a fucking 2DS, on a 3DS. What were the other games that you were playing on the 3DS where you were like, you can get this much interaction from this? Like, the amount of effort put into, like, a portable device game is crazy. Oh, no. Najarala, look out! He's placing bombs! Najarala Glaze Train. I feel like the fact that he can dig so easily at the size means his construction force will be insanely high. We will be getting to that. In fact, we might just get to that. So, we might have to look up... Okay. We could basically compare real-life constrictors to, like, the PSI for real-life constrictors and then upscale that somehow. Although, I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I would have to figure that out, like, on stream. Oh. Oh, there he goes. Oh, poor boy. It's like, yeah, I could be a monster hunter. I could be in the monster hunting universe. I'd be able to beat Rathalos. Meanwhile, the humble Najarala size. Gang, you ain't beating this. Yeah, I could beat an apex monster. No, you can't. All right, so we got that. Here's the thing. Do we think he would actually constrict around a monster? Surely he would, right? I mean, Piscine wyverns fucking constrict around him. Piscine wyverns have, like, been shown to, like, go around brute wyverns like Barioth and Bambaro. And he does have that move where he circles you. No, yeah, he has to constrict. There's no fucking shot he doesn't. Wait, how loud do you think Najarala is enough to blow one's ear? If you're asking how loud do you have to be to blow out someone's ear, it kind of just depends on the person and, mainly the person and monster. Constriction scales with size of snake, so could just scale it up to Najarala's size. See, I don't know if there's an equation I can even really do for that, but I will say constricts. Like, okay, I don't know if we can get the exact number. However, you know what we could do? We can do something like pythons being able to constrict alligators the same length as them and kill the alligators. So what we could do is say that anything basically on the same size range as Najarala or smaller can get constricted fairly easily. Oh my goodness, yo, what's up, Gomez? How do we think about that? How is that line of logic going for? You know, like, how is that line of logic? Because I'm not sure if we can truly find the exact PSI of Najarala. That's, like, almost impossible to do. And I'm not sure how you would be able to upscale the theoretical PSI of a monster. But, like, the size of Najarala compared to the size of a python that's in the, like, Everglades. I'm not sure. what's Najarala's canonical size? Because I could try to map that out. Well, Volcano, the thing about that is that Najarala sizes range from monster to monster. I will say that his normal... So, here on the wiki, which again, I don't love using the wiki, but small crown is 3,568 centimeters. Large crown is 5,068 centimeters. So, if you want to come back to us with the math on that, you can do that. You're thinking of anacondas constricting gators. Boas don't really get that big. No, isn't it the pythons that are going rampant in the Everglades? And they're hunting gators too. Although gators could also kill them. If it do max crown, if you want to do like what's the size of Jin? Jin's 4,560 centimeters. So if you just want to do like the medium and do that for Najarala, basically use Jin's size. Basically use the length of Jin for your thing. You could do that. Repeat those numbers for me. Just do, how about this? Just do this number. 4,560 centimeters. Because that's the size of Jin, and while the max size of Najarala is longer than Jin, we could just use the simple size of Jin, just as like a conservative estimate, you know? Are you using Monster Hunter Wiki Spottable? I am, but that's because I don't know where else to look. I mean, I guess I could look. No, do they even have that? Do they have crown sizes information in For You? I don't know if they do. If they do, I would rather just look in the game to do that. But if not, then I don't really, you know. Again, the size of Jin is a conservative estimate on the about size of Najarala. I say size, the length of Najarala. Again, though, he's not like as big. Well, he is, meh. Yeah, just do that, just length. Size difference were added in Monster Hunter 1G. I guess I just never looked at it. So I wasn't completely sure. I just never looked at it. Alright, we are going to watch, while Volcano does that little, while Volcano does the little bit of, like, math for us, we are gonna watch a goated channel called Unnatural History Channel. Snake Wyvern Ecology, Najarala in Monster Hunter. We're gonna watch this. And we're gonna see if maybe we can glean something from the biology and also ecology of Najarala. Now, take this video with a grain of salt because he's just working with information that we all have. However, he's trying to use real-world examples of this. I'm gonna look it up. So anacondas are expected 90 psi, with largers being 200 to 300 psi. They're around 15 to 18 meters long. See how Najarala is 4,560. I'd say 600 psi if it was on humans. Wait, if it was on humans? Is it just me, or does that math, like, not add up? Is that literally just me? Or is that math, like, not adding up? Also, if it was on humans, isn't the PSI output the same because it's the creature doing it? like a creature trying to wrap around me and a creature wrapping around like the leg of like a buffalo would be the same, no? But okay, but we'll just let Volcano and you guys who want to do the research, you guys can do that. We will come back to that specifically because it is a strength and we do have to figure that out. But for now, we are going to watch a natural history channel because this guy does goated monster videos.
Dwarfing even several apex monsters, Najarala makes for an imposing target for any rival. Typically found in temperate woodlands, its subspecies can reach even as far as polar regions, but above all else, its serpentine physiology makes it one of the most unique creatures in the series, and one ripe for exploration. One question that's been posed to me in the past is what Najarala eats, and similarly, why it's so low ranking for such a massive monster. And Najarala certainly is huge, with a length exceeding that of many elders too. But a closer look at its morphology may suggest it isn't actually built for large game. A look at Najarala's head in relation to the rest of its body shows a small head and a pronounced snout, both of which will greatly limit gape size.
Long boy head ass. God damn. Long boy. Yo, can I get a monster the long way? Damn, boy.
So whilst Najarala may be a potent predator, it may well struggle with the prey handling afterwards with actually eating it. To look at the snake best built for big game, we can see a pretty clear difference. Gaboon vipers have large heads for their body size and triangular ones too, allowing them a large gape for large prey. In fact, Gaboon vipers have the widest heads for their body length of any snake, as well as the largest venom loads and fangs too. They also use these large robust fangs to help walk the jaws over their huge meals as well, and accordingly take the largest prey relative to their own body size of any snake, being recorded to kill and consume prey 104% of their own mass and swallow it whole.
Fat ass, damn!
Despite constrictors being famous for it, the Bitis genus of vipers are arguably even more specialised big game snakes, with the adults preferentially hanging around game trails in the hope of grabbing antelope like duiker, or other similar-sized mammals like cane rats or genets. So no matter which way you slice it, Najarala just doesn't seem well equipped to handle large prey relative to its own body mass. There could be some potential ways around this though for certain prey, and some extant snakes have developed ways to bite off more than they can chew. Snakes that often eat crabs will throw coils around the body of the crab to function as something of a limb, and then pull the limbs off to be swallowed, allowing them to at least partially eat large prey too big for them to swallow whole. But there are caveats to this. It's worth noting that they only succeed in this with freshly molted crabs. But for the huge snake wyvern, this could still be one way for Najarala to potentially benefit from larger prey, and broaden its prey range to include carapaceons like Daimiohermitor, and Neopterons or Temnecerans like Nursilla or Celtus. And there is some precedent here. The two share the types of habitat like the primal forest to
Okay, so I'm not going to be able to type as much because I'm working. Okay, Gomez, no problem. Thank you for being here.
an extent, albeit with Najarala tolerating cooler and drier regions into the forest and hills.
Also, hello, Minnie.
Its occasional burrowing behaviour may also suggest it preferentially searches for such animals too, as many giant monster hunter invertebrates will often rest underground. Najarala may not be a bug or crab specialist per se, but with its environment and sympatric animals, invertebrates may make up a fair chunk of its diet. For smaller ones like Celtus, it may also be able to pull apart most of the body, just leaving the horned thorax that may be too sharp or unwieldy to swallow. Though it may still struggle to apply this with large vertebrates. The jointed exoskeleton of even hardened crabs is likely easier to pull apart than the tough elastic tissues like skin and tendon. They typically require cutting edges. Plus, limbs are one thing and large torsos are quite another. So whilst this behaviour may help Najarala broaden its prey range, it may only take it so far. Outside of invertebrates, there's still a fair number of other animals with proportions Najarala should still be able to eat. It's likely not picky in the environs it inhabits. and will eat near enough anything it can grab that will fit into its mouth, as well as smaller monsters like Mosswine, Bullfango, and young Aptonoth. Bird wyverns like the raptors, Yankutku, and Malfestio are likely small enough to be taken too, presumably being struck from ambush as they themselves forage. Primates like the Congers and Quechawacha are also potential prey.
Not my boy Quechawacha, please, Najarala, please, not my boy.
And even if the adult male Congalala is too large and rotund to be swallowed, Najarala itself is likely
Had to get a new account, sadly a lot of things happen. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, imposter. But I'm glad you're here now.
too big to be threatened by the defense of troop leaders. So even if Najarala isn't taking the massive game some may have believed from its own large size, there's still plentiful other monsters it can potentially eat. It's worth a brief caveat on Dalamadur with all of this too.
Oh boy, here we go.
As many may wonder what a giant world serpent eats. Whilst Dalamadur's head is perhaps more traditionally snake-like, lacking the beak and tusks and resembling that of a giant Eurasian adder.
That is true. Dalamadur's like entire head and skull resembles better like a genuine snake than someone like Najarala. Najarala is very eccentric.
It's also not heavily geared for consuming large prey relative to its own body size, which is also unsurprising as Dalamadur is the second largest organism known, and so nature only rarely does things that are large relative to its own body size. But of course, the chief one is Zora Magdaros, and as such it's common to see the two depicted as battling in fan art. But with Zora's shell protecting it from constriction and most harm, as well as Dalamadur's likely inability to actually process Zora should it kill it, it's not very likely to succeed here. It's worth briefly talking about Zora here though, to suggest that they may still make up a fair chunk of Dalamadur's diet. Whilst Zora are naturally massive, the one followed making the Elder Crossing was a very large individual, around a quarter larger than average, making it the largest living thing recorded so far in the known world of Monster Hunter, and almost certainly the oldest too. So it's not really an average individual. Baby Zora don't move from where they're hatched or deposited for considerable periods of time, and live underground or underwater for prolonged periods too. So it could be possible the juvenile...
What have I missed so far? We basically went over the cutscene, we went over gameplay, we got a good amount of notes on the strength so far, and we are just looking through, or watching, the Snake Wyvern Ecology video by Unnatural History channel, to see if we can glean a little bit more information, potentially.
...look very different to the adults. Zora's shell is also made up of secreted waste products that grow as it ages, with it being held in place by the lips.
I will say, I'm not sure if I'm going to... Okay, we'll watch the little bit of Dalamadur, because it seems like he does get back to Najarala within like a few minutes.
Limbs that are usually wings in other elders. So while Dalamadur likely falls short against the 5th Fleet individual, it may well still predate youngsters. If it finds subadult individuals, it may well be able to use the snake tactic of the loop and pull, to pull limbs from their shells. Zora are actually comparatively slender-bodied when out of their shells, and so younger ones could potentially be swallowed whole. And Dalamadur,
damn, buddy, who took your shell?
does seem to have some precedent in tackling armoured prey. The odd joint on its teeth seems to be, in smaller snakes, an
Yo, okay, I'm finally catching your stream. Yo, welcome in, Ash.
adaptation to eat armoured prey, a genus of skinks in particular. It allows them to be swallowed whole without damaging the teeth, but also while preventing the prey escaping. Considering most things Dalamadur would likely be eating, like juvenile Zora, Leo Shenlong, and the Morans, are armoured, it makes sense it would have this adaptation too to handle such tough prey. It's hard to make conclusions on truly giant monsters due to their size, and the fact we can only speculate about aspects of how the largest terrestrial animals, the sauropods, lived on our world, but it's believed truly mature adults were rare on the landscape, with most of the population being made of younger animals. This is likely the case too with Monster Hunter's giants, and full-sized individuals alive on the planet at one time may be counted in the tens, if that, with the bulk of the population being far smaller immature animals moving up the conveyor belt. They also likely are selected, and have huge numbers of small young they don't really care for with pretty high mortality. There may be limits to being this big too, even in Monster Hunter. In the Rotten Vale, we see skeletons of several Dalamadur-like animals forming much of the structure of the Vale. These are even larger than Dalamadur, and are believed to be an ancestor that died considerable time ago. It's unknown what brings Dalamadur together, but presumably fighting or mating are the main candidates, and at huge sizes where crushing each other is likely, these actions could regularly become fatal. If fatal on a regular enough basis, it would begin to trend for Dalamadur to get smaller. In life there is something of a tendency to get larger, and different environmental or climatic conditions could have facilitated such growth. But it seems there is such a thing as too big even in Monster Hunter, and Dalamadur as a species ultimately began to select for smaller individuals to become the more reasonable sized specimens we see in 4U.
That would be that's an interesting idea. That literally being too big was an issue, which actually is the case in the real world. A lot of the animals that go extinct in our world, like the prehistoric animals, didn't go extinct because they weren't the biggest or the strongest. No, they were. It's just that that's not always the most effective way of living. And when environments change, you might need, it might be too much, you might need too much to keep your big ass and your big body, afloat. So, like, Megalodon, it's very much theorized that, like, Megalodon died because it was simply outcompeted, not by something bigger or stronger, or just as big or strong, but because their other monsters were able to just, like, outcompete it in the sense of they were able to survive, and Megalodon just didn't have the resources to keep on surviving because it was so big. So, it is an interesting idea that Dalamadur was so big that it literally was, like, negatively affecting the population. So they sized down, which is crazy to think that the sizing down is still the Dalamadur size that we see now, but yeah.
Diet-wise, tidal Najarala may be similar to both the...
Oh my goodness, tidal Najarala. Hello, tidal Najarala. We all love tidal Najarala. God, what a beautiful monster.
Other snakes in Monster Hunter, in its unlikelihood of taking big game and a possible preference for hard-skinned prey. Tidal, as its name suggests, seems associated with polar coastal regions, and water in general too, and may well do much of its foraging.
Eventually, Dalamadur will be the size of Lagiacris. Well, okay, I'm not even sure that's going to be the case, because Najarala is already bigger than Lagiacris. Well, Najarala is longer than Lagiacris, so I don't know. Okay, so Najarala, by my math, would just have shy of 750 round-up PSI on a squeeze. That seems a little bit better. But, of course, that's just estimates. But remember, this is PSI, so per square inch. Per square inch. So, inch by inch, like, think of like an inch, right? And then put another inch, like, right next to that. 750 pounds per square inch. That's crazy. How dead would a human be? Pretty dead. Literally mincemeat. No, I don't believe that. It was a joke. Oh, okay. Snake plus parrot plus parrot. Tidal Najarala. Managed to catch a stream. W. Oh, hello. Hello, OG. Welcome in.
In the sea. If it's anything like a sea...
So, I will say this, that I believe Najarala literally has the size to take down apex monsters. However, would Najarala actually do that other than self-defense? I don't know. It actually might support the idea that Najarala literally cannot... Because look at Najarala's mouth right here, right? This is tidal Najarala, truthfully. However, considering this is just a subspecies, so the base form Like, the base layout of Tidal Najarala is just regular Najarala. If you were to see the mouth here, this is not how, like, a constrictor, like, unhinges their jaw. So, Najarala specifically wouldn't go after, like, a Rathalos for a meal. However, we're not necessarily talking about would he go after a Rathalos. We're saying, could Najarala take down a Rathalos if it literally had to or it was going to die? And in that case, I actually do believe that could be the case. Now, there are better and there are worse matchups for Najarala, Najarala in general. Like, Celtis and Celtis Queen together versus Najarala, that might not be a very good matchup. Odogron, a very good matchup for Najarala. He might just do it for the love of the game, maybe. But it should be said that, yes, Najarala, just for, like, his body plan, he actually wouldn't go after, like monsters as big as him, or monsters even on the threat level of Apex normally. Not really. Now, that's not to say that he couldn't pick a fight with them, but he wouldn't go after them for substance, and he would still be putting himself in very realistic danger by doing that. While I do say that I think he could take down a Rathalos, he could also just get fucked in the process. Rathalos ain't no bitch. You know, that man can jump in the air with a Legicris on him. So, he ain't no one's punk. But that's what we're kind of power scaling here, you know what I'm saying?
Snake, it could be aptly named as well. Greater sea snakes.
Isn't Rathalos like the punching bag of Monster Hunter? No, not really. People like to run with that narrative, but truthfully, no. Does he have a lot of interactions in Monster Hunter? Obviously, he's like, he is Monster Hunter, but he's not necessarily the punching bag of Monster Hunter. There's only like, what? There's only like a few fights he ever loses, and one was ever like actual predation, which was Malzeno. Other than that, like, not really.
Will increase their foraging efforts in receding tides to try and find their catfish prey. The reasons are believed to be a combination of lower water levels generally favouring the snake, but also
we are thinking of him eating his prey whole, but he has a beak homie, doesn't have to, has a beak homie, doesn't have to do that. He could peck pieces off of meat off. Sorry, I don't know why I was having a little bit of trouble there. No, I'm not saying that he can swallow prey whole. I was specifically making that detail that if you look at his mouth right here, that he literally can't eat things whole. He don't got the facilities for that, big man. But rather, he would probably still pick pieces off of monsters. Like, well, he actually explained it in the video. I'm not sure if we're paying attention to the video, but he literally says this in the video.
With polar coastal regions, and water in general too, and may well do much of its foraging in the sea. If it's anything like a sea snake, it could be aptly named as well. Greater sea snakes will increase their foraging.
Are those Tusk? You better know it.
Sea. If it's anything like a sea snake, it could be aptly named as well. Greater sea snakes will increase their foraging efforts in receding tides to try and find their catfish prey. The reasons are believed to be a combination of lower water levels generally favouring the snake, but also for chemical detection. Sea snakes seem to hunt by using vision to find likely prey spots, and then chemical cues to find the prey inside them. The water being drawn out of the hiding places and crevasses likely tell the snakes which spots are occupied by prey, and which aren't, allowing them to decide to search inside for a meal. So if Tidal Najarala is similar, we can fancifully speculate that it may have even been named in-universe for the habit of hunting in the tides. If in more open water, Tidal may be something of a benthic forager. Several species of sea snake are, and species of garter snake, which also regularly hunt in aquatic zones. The biggest snakes forage near exclusively on the bottom and chiefly for crayfish too.
Okay. Do you guys want some spottable lore? He said garter snake, and I could give you guys some funny spottable lore. Do you guys want some spottable lore real quick? every time I think about the fucking... Bro, why did Capcom stop doing those ecology videos? Those were so cool and useful. Well, they're not... Well, yeah, they did. But, I mean, I guess, like, the cutscenes for a lot of monsters are still pretty cool. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Okay. So, when he said garter snake, that made me remember the time that I grabbed a garter snake by accident. So... This happened, like, middle school. This is, like middle school me, okay? I was walking in a park of sorts. I was walking in a, kind of like a dog park / like, human park. It was very big. It was very large. A lake. Not really a lake, but, like, a pondish area. Just, like, a nice, lush area to, like, walk, right? And me... my mom and my little poodle, the family dog, we were all walking there. We're all doing that, right? And then I saw on the side of, like, the edge of, like, where the park was, it was a brick wall that basically was, like, it's basically the wall to segregate, like, the park and the, like, homes, right? So, past the little brick wall was homes. And I saw, with my little eye, like a very long thing that was mainly black with a yellow stripe coming across it. Now, my instincts were telling me, oh, this was a hose. And I was like, oh, their hose is about to fall off the wall. They probably left it there to water their plants on their side of the wall. And with all the wind that's happening, their hose might get lost. Head ass, why would the hose, even if the hose did go off the wall, I'm telling myself this right now, why the fuck would it, like, come off? Do you think the hose is just unplugged? The hose is almost always plugged, regardless, right? It was stupid that I had that mentality, but that's what I thought. So I, just leaving my mom, I just go over to, like, this wall, and I grab what I thought was a hose. I grab it, and it felt like a hose. It really did. Like, the length, the color, even, like, grabbing it initially, it felt like a hose. Although, it felt like a hose with water in it. That was a bit weird. And so I pick it up, and then a head comes up from the other side of the wall to then look over the wall, straight in my face, and basically goes, yo, who the fuck touching me? It was a garter snake. Now, here's the thing. I was in no real danger of, like, dying or even being put in the hospital. Garter snakes are very dangerous to humans at all. What they are dangerous of is scaring the ever-living shit out of a middle schooler like me. And so, he looked over to me, I looked at him, and I went, oh shit! And because I didn't want to be on the side with the snake on it, I threw it on the other side of the wall, and I don't know if it hit the house, or if it hit, like, something, but I heard a whack! I heard a smack! And so it hit something over there on the other side of the wall. And I go, right? Because I just grabbed a snake without knowing it. And I go over to my mom and I'm like, Mom, I just grabbed a snake. And she's like, what? What do you mean you grabbed the snake? I'm like, where is it? And of course she's trying to make sure that our poodle isn't anywhere near the snake. I'm like, no, I'm like, because I was a kid, so I actually knew my snakes, especially the ones in my area. I'm like, it was a garter snake. It just scared me. I threw it. I had to tell her that I threw the snake towards the house. As a kill count now? No, there's no way I actually killed it. There's no fucking way. Like, I threw it enough. I threw it far enough where, like, it landed definitely into their backyard. And it, like, at least, like, in the middle, at the very least, of their backyard. But, like, I did not, like, whip the snake. I didn't use it as a whip to fucking crack its skull or something. I just, like, grabbed the middle of its body and then I, like, chucked it. Like, there's no way it was dead. There's no shot it died. And for my own sake and sanity, I'm going to have to reliably say that it did not die. Although I suppose it's Schrodinger's snake. Is it dead? Is it not dead? I don't fucking know. I'm gonna have to believe that's not dead, though. Yo, Mom, guess what? I just threw a snake at You do understand how fragile smaller snakes' bones are, right? Yeah, but, like, I was, like, a middle schooler. I didn't throw it as hard as I could have been. It was, like, a throw in the sense of I got scared, and I just, like, threw it. You know what I'm saying? That guy didn't catch, like, major airtime. I didn't throw it, like, like, on the second floor of the house. I threw it, like, maybe, like, another, like, foot or so to where I grabbed it. Probably, like, 2 feet, if I'm being honest. But it's fine, guys, relax. Until the snake is in somebody's toilet. Thank God that never happened. The most I got was a frog. No, a freaking massive frog at that. Unless snake was seething in the act. I didn't kill the snake. Please, guys, please. Please, I didn't kill the snake, please. It's fine. Could have used it as a killing pair of nunchucks. Was it like a, oh shit, there's a spider on the tissue box throw? Or a, I'm chucking this at my sibling but don't want to hurt them too much throw? Unironically, I know exactly both of those scenarios you're saying. It's like a, how do I say this? Imagine it like this. Imagine you picked up your phone and then you turn it over and there's a spider on your phone. And so you reflect, so you like, your reflexes make you throw the phone. And makes you throw the phone. It was like that. But obviously I didn't throw it as hard as a phone because the snake was bigger than the phone. And heavier than the phone. But it was like that kind of reflex. Bro hunted his first Dalamadur back in middle school. He didn't carve. You said crave. He didn't carve Bracky. Yes, I did not carve the snake because I did not slay the snake. I also didn't capture it. So that was my snake encounter. I also have a spider encounter that was very much similar to that snake encounter. In the sense that it scared the shit out of me. But maybe that's a spottable lore time for another. That's some spottable lore for another time.
Becoming more specialized than their smaller counterparts. Sea snakes in general tend to be more specialized than their land-loving relatives as well. And snakes more adapted for water also tend to prefer deeper water, and submerging themselves to hunt along the bottom too. So if tidal is anything like this, it does seem it'll chiefly forage in the lowest stratum of the sea. Slow-moving, benthic prey like assorted crustaceans could be its chief food source, especially as tidal Najarala likely isn't any better at consuming large prey than its more terrestrial cousin. Polar...
I will say, what the fuck can actually, like, okay. Like, in normal cold areas, other than, like, the biggest of big boys, like Jin, Gameth, Eucanlos, and assuming not Elder Dragons, what does Tidal Najarala actually have to, like, fear? A Barioth Tidal Najarala could actually just kill. In my opinion. Now, it would be hard. And if Barioth, assuming Barioth didn't get an ambush off on. But, like, Tidal Najarala is, like, the big boy. Is, like, one of the big boys in the cold places. Why did I just imagine the snake making a goofy sound while flying through the... Guys, come on, please. I'm trying not to think about... I don't want to think that I hurt the snake, okay? I'm trying not to think about that. Hello,
Hello,
Average.
still have rich prey bases of invertebrates like bivalves and crustaceans. And in the world of Monster Hunter, they're also probably huge, so it may be possible for there to
Predicate you for covering my favorite monster? Hey, no problem.
be sufficient food in the polar seabeds for the giant serpent. Like its cousin Najarala, it may not be too picky, and will still probably hunt anything it can get into its mouth. We know comparatively very little on the cold water seas of the Monster Hunter world, but there could be pinnipeds and cetaceans for them to try for, as well as the penguin-like species such as the duffelbirds. If on land, or if tidal is just a fun name over suggesting where it may live, it can still go for small prey like blangos, young popo and anteka, as well as bird wyverns like Gyrodrome and Great Baggy to sustain itself. Tidal Najarala may well be an active forager, and it may not have much choice in the matter. Few Monster Hunter beasts seem built for the cold, but are likely huge enough that they can withstand fairly low temperatures, without needing much overt insulation. But most of them also move mainly on land. If Tidal Najarala swims for a lot of the day,
I'm drinking water, goddamn! I'm drinking water! Wingman, thank you for the 10 SEK. I don't know what, I still don't know what the currency for that is, but thank you. Regardless. Wingman, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. What? Wingman was in here like 2 streams ago, or a stream ago, no?
It'll be losing heat much more. And even with its movement in deep snow, it's likely that much more of the body is in contact with the
Oh, wait, no. Maybe I'm thinking about when I was putting Wingman in the members thing, and I saw his name. I could be thinking of that then.
snow itself, and getting wet over just the limbs. As a very long animal too, Tidal has a large surface area with little insulation. Even though it's the length of a whale or more, it's still nowhere near as thick as them. It's unknown what Najarala's
That's true. Najarala is not as thick as some people may seem. He's not as thick.
body temperature situation is either. Whether despite resembling a snake, it's an endothermic animal with metabolic control over its body.
I was the one that spent my entire wallet, and we appreciate you. Everyone appreciates you for that. Don't do it again.
Or if it is more like a giant snake indeed, and is a large ectotherm. With giant animals, and especially reptiles too, there's always the chance of it being somewhere in between. Leatherback turtles are one such example, and can
I love me some leatherback turtle. You guys ever just like having a bad day, and then you see like turtles, and you're just like, man, kind of make my mood better. I love turtles, and not even as a meme. Like I just love turtles. I love tortoises. I love turtles. Just love them.
forage in the waters of Canada and Europe, despite the water being 0 degrees. They achieve this through both behaviour and physiology, and adults will spend as much time as they can at the surface.
Yo, is that ancient?
Where the water is considerably warmer.
You eat turtle meat? I would never eat turtle meat.
And they can get some solar radiation. Smaller individuals especially will also adopt a burn it to earn it policy, and increase their activity levels, with greater numbers of flipper strokes as they swim, so muscle thermogenesis can...
How much longer do we have in there? Oh, shit! Hold on, we might... we're gonna get back to regular Najarala.
both keep itself warm, and to bring whatever prey it's consuming out there up to temperature internally too. Perhaps Najarala's signature feature in either of them is the loose, brittle scales that make up its signature rattle, and can be launched at enemies too. This is obviously quite similar to a rattlesnake, and may have similar origins. When partially coiled in a defensive position, Najarala holds its tail out in front of itself, and when roaring at the player will rattle the tail being held adjacent to the head. The rattle aspect likely came from an old behaviour, and in snakes as well as the rattlers, the rest of the Viperidae and much of the Colubridae families of snakes will also vibrate the tail too when threatened. This can also be more prevalent in venomous snakes, and seems to be the warning before a strike much as it is in rattlesnakes. So it's believed the rattling initially derived from this defensive behaviour, possibly from the loose or shed skin initially too. So it may well have been the same in Najarala. What started as tail waving, possibly to distract the predator from...
Is that who I think it is? I gotta go to work. Bye. Okay, bye, Brecky. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone say bye. Is that Teen Common Shark? No fucking way. Oh my god, is that the goat?
The head, or make themselves seem better armed, eventually grew into the rattle paddles. When shedding skin, assuming Najarala do, loose skin hanging off the tail may have added to the intimidation with sound. That eventually became dead skin, becoming the plates of the tail and the back of the neck.
I'm not gonna lie, this is not lore accurate Tigrex. This is not lore accurate Tigrex. You're telling me Tigrex is willing to go jump against a rare species like Violet Misasune and a Gammoth? But like is that a snake? Get the fuck out of here. You should have used that Nargacuga as a better example. Tigrex is like the worst example of a monster being dissuaded by just a rattle. Hello, Zane. Not Zane. I'll just say, well, your 3 is kind of like an E. Now, I'll just say Zan.
Assuming Najarala do, loose skin hanging off the tail may have added to the intimidation with sound. That eventually became dead skin, becoming the plates of the tail and the back of the neck. The fact Najarala can shed these for their attacks, and with little pain or blood, does seem to suggest the plates on all parts of the body are dead, cornified or keratinized tissue. The plates on the back of the neck appear somewhat reminiscent of a cobra's, but can't be expanded or retracted. As well as helping with the intimidation by rattling, these could also be to help prevent attacks on the head and neck, with them getting in the way of an attacker's jaws or claws. Going by the fact Najarala will also fling them as projectiles, the scales break into sharp edges that can cause bloody wounds on many potential attackers. Considering the way they stick in the ground too, broken Najarala scales likely stick in the opponent and cause lasting pain, as well as higher risk of infection too. Such defences are also seen in tarantulas with their urticating hairs, and the longest versions are especially designed for large vertebra predators. Even if not launched too, any predator that bites the plates likely receives severe lacerations to its mouth.
Ah! Hey! Did I just hear a did I just hear a Najarala upscale?
That can cause bloody wounds, but
say that again?
can't be expanded or retracted. As well as helping with the intimidation by rattling, these could also be to help prevent attacks on the head and neck, with them getting in the way of an attacker's jaws or claws. Going by the fact Najarala will also fling them as projectiles, the scales break into sharp edges that can cause bloody wounds on many potential attackers. Considering the way they stick in the ground too, broken Najarala scales likely stick in the opponent and cause lasting pain, as well as higher risk of infection too.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Okay, for a strength, the scales on Najarala, what does he specifically call them?
Attracted, as well as helping with the dead, cornified or keratinized tissue. The plates on the back of the neck appear somewhat reminiscent of a cobra's.
The plates, we'll just say the plates.
But can't be expanded or retracted. As well as helping with the intimidation by rattling, these could also be to help prevent attacks on the head and neck, with them getting in the way of an attacker's jaws or claws. Going by the fact Najarala will also fling them as projectiles, the scales break into sharp edges that can cause bloody wounds on many potential attackers. Considering the way they stick in the ground too, broken Najarala scales likely stick in the opponent and cause lasting pain, as well as higher risk of infection too. Such defense.
Okay. What are his weaknesses right now? We're not going over the weaknesses right this second, although we will somewhat soon. We're still on the strengths. So right now, because he said that, that was a good point. I didn't really think about it like that. The plates on Najarala's neck/back, so this like whole big area right here, act as a layer of protection that, if bitten into, could cause lacerations, lacerations. There you go. Lacerations and or pain to the one biting into them. What do we think? What do we think? Oh, are you talking about his weaknesses as in his element? Because we also haven't gone over that. We have not gone over that yet. That's a good point by Unnatural over here. Great point. Phenomenal.
The way they stick in the ground too. Broken Najarala
I have to go. Get ready to go to Range Cafe. Bye. Hope you have a great day. Okay, bye, person. Everyone say bye. Thank you for being here, person.
Scales likely stick in the opponent and cause lasting pain, as well as higher risk of infection too. Such defenses are also seen in tarantulas with their urticating hairs, and the longest versions are especially designed for large vertebrate predators. Even if not launched too, any predator that bites the plates likely receives severe lacerations to its mouth. And if that wasn't enough, Najarala is also poisonous. Should a predator get past its defenses and succeed in taking it down, its bodily tissues are laden with paralyzing neurotoxin, produced in the very bone marrow.
What? Marrow known to cause paralysis if handled improperly? Was this said in the fucking, like... Was this said in the, like, description of the parts? Of, like, the monster materials? I didn't know that!
Should a predator get past its defenses and succeed in taking it down, its bodily tissues are laden with paralyzing neurotoxin, produced in the very bone marrow.
Oh, shit. So, has neurotoxin? What the fuck? Neurotoxin imbued or I'll just say built into the, do you say flesh or bone? Well, sadly, I gotta go work, work a bit more on my game concept. Have a great day. Bye. Okay, bye, Bog. Thank you for being here. Good luck on your game concept. Sounds interesting. Everyone say bye.
Should a predator get past its defenses and succeed in taking it down, its bodily tissues are laden with paralyzing neurotoxin, produced in the very bone marrow. Whilst Najarala adults likely face minimal predation due to both size and their effective armaments, a lot of these features may well still prevent any attack from more powerful monsters, but also be highly important in protecting juveniles. It's unknown how long it takes young Najarala to grow their plates, and how much parental care the adults may offer, but being toxic is always a good defense against getting eaten. If Najarala is immune to its own toxins, then cannibalism may well be the chief threat young Najarala typically face in their journey to adulthood.
Damn, bro. What did little bro do?
Overall, I'm fairly mixed to positive on Najarala as a whole. The idea is great, and a snake fight in a dinosaur and dragon fighting game is always welcome.
Okay, so that's basically all the video. Okay, so the last thing that I believe that we can do for strengths... is the constricting part. Now, Volcano, are you still here? Or did Volcano leave? I cannot remember. I cannot remember if Volcano left. But I believe the constricting aspect of Najarala is the last thing for strength-wise that we have to look up. Or not look up, but discuss. We talked about it for a second, but, you know. Oh my goodness, is that Atomic? Hello, Atomic. We'll have... Mitsu's cute. He is such a cutie, is he not? I will say... Given... Well, that's so weird. It's so hard to, like, specifically say because... different constrictors and different snakes have different PSI. And then depending on the size of the snake also matters. And I can't tell what exactly Najarala is, like, based off of. If we knew what specific snake he was based off of, if he was, then this would be easier. However, I feel like we could say that a lot of constrictors can constrict and kill animals in the real world, normally the same size as them, to maybe slightly smaller. And so if we were to apply that logic to Monster Hunter, it could be reasonable to say that Najarala could constrict and kill a Rathalos. Is that crazy to say? Basically using not like specific PSI, but like the range of how snakes in the real world can constrict on other large animals, and then kind of upscale that to Monster Hunter. Still here, 746.8, repeating what was the math I got. I used my math off of Anaconda since the scale patterns on the underside line up. My friend hates Seregios. Would you like to have me pass on a message to him about that? Just tell him that he's wrong. Just tell him that he's wrong about Seregios, and in due time, he'll learn to love Seregios. But here's the thing, right? Even if we know... Here's the thing about the PSI. Even if we know, like, the exact PSI amount for Najarala, I mean, I guess knowing the exact PSI would actually be helpful in terms of materials that he could break by correlation. It still doesn't help us exactly because we don't know the strength and stuff of different monsters' armoring. Does that make sense? Like, a deer being constricted would probably take less PSI to constrict than a gator. Most likely. Considering their body plans. Does that make sense? Do you kind of get what I'm getting at? Like, I'm not saying that... Thank you, by the way, Volcano, for doing the math and all that. But I'm not sure if even just knowing the PSI would necessarily kind of put into perspective. I think putting a monster that he could constrict into perspective would be better than the specific number. For, like, general people just kind of wanting to know how strong he could be. Does that make sense for what I'm, like, talking about? Like, does that make sense or no? Ah, my back. Because if Najarala is the size and... If Najarala is the size... I'm sorry, no, I shouldn't say size. Is the length of Jin. Let's just say that, right? He could be bigger. He could also be smaller. Depending on the stuff. But if he is the size of that... Him constricting around a Zinogre, around a Rathalos, around a Narcocuga is very possible. Especially considering if he were to bite them multiple times with his paralytic venom. it just seems very possible for him to be able to do something like that. If he were to be in a death battle scenario where he has to kill this monster or he dies. With size ratio, Laggy is comparable to an American alligator to an anaconda from my knowledge, so he'd probably be able to squeeze something Laggy size. Yeah. So, okay. So how about this? I'll put this in the strength. Given how real life constrictors work if they can often coil around an animal as large as themselves or a bit smaller. I said mauler, not smaller. Smaller. It is reasonable to suggest that Najarala can do the same by simply upscaling real life snakes. For instance, it would be reasonable to say that Najarala would be able to coil and constrict a Rathalos. I'm just going to say Rathalos just because, like, Rathalos is, like, the base wyvern monster, so I feel like that's fine to say. Okay, so here's what I got. Sorry, I was a little quiet. I was typing out stuff. Damn, I done missed some shit. You did miss some shit. Mind you, that have to be very high difficulty. Things move around. Things more around Great Jaguars or Ratha size would be reasonable. Ratha being mid-difficult and Jaguars being a regular snack. Yes, that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm putting Rathalos as kind of like a base for it being like reasonable that he could do this. Could Najarala predate Gore? There would be no fucking reason for Najarala to predate Gore Magala specifically. In fact, he would really not want to predate Gore. And in my opinion, Gore could just probably, due to the frenzy virus, just get out of the constriction. Close proximity to Gore is something you literally do not want. It's resistant to the frenzy would also be a major factor, though. Who said that Najarala is resistant to the frenzy? What? Oh my goodness, Wingman being a member for 6 months. I will get mad if Najarala is not in the Wilds expansion. You know what? I think a lot of people would get mad. I gotta go. I'll be back. Okay, bye, Average. Let me get a mouthful of rabies. Okay, Hunters. I think we are basically done with the strength part. I'm gonna read out the strengths that I have for Najarala right now. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that I'm missing something? Do you guys think that it's unreasonable to put this as a strength? Just let me know, okay? Yeah, let me take a little sippy sip of water real quick before I start doing this, because I'm kind of talking a lot and my mouth's getting a little dry. Alright, for strengths for Najarala, we got the length of Najarala is on par with, lengthwise, Jinnahad and Zoshia. Has projectiles that are used as landmines of sorts that can be used to control the battlefield. And explode like a grenade. With shrapnel. Okay. The frequency of Najarala's rattle can be very disorienting for small monsters and monsters that are sensitive to hearing, to the point that it can stun them for a brief time. Despite the size of Najarala, he is deceivingly fast, has the ability to dig underground, has potent paralysis, can explode his thrown out scales by using his voice, doesn't necessarily need the rattle to explode his scales. The plates on Najarala's neck and back act as a layer of protection that, if bitten into, could cause lacerations and or pain to the one biting into them. Has neurotoxin built into the body tissue and bone marrow. That's something I didn't know. Given how real-life constrictors work, if they can often coil around an animal as large as themselves or a bit smaller, it is reasonable to suggest that Najarala can do the same by simply upscaling real-life snakes. For instance, it would be reasonable to say that Najarala could be able to coil and constrict a Rathalos, especially if Najarala is biting into Rathalos with paralyzing venom. What do we think? For like a monster like Najarala, these are a good amount of strengths. It's a good amount of strengths. And you want me to fight fucking Kezu on the same level with Najarala? Get the fuck out of here. We're missing the Carter Snake stats. Najarala better be in Wild or so. Wilds, or I'm boycotting Capcom. He has to be, bro. Just has to be. Sounds good. I will say we got a good amount of strengths from a monster that like has like one intro cutscene and is just like one member of its entire class, that being snake monsters. But I feel like we were able to gather a lot. Now, we like glazing Najarala. We like saying, "Ooh, look how big the snake is. Very long, boy." We like saying that. We like saying that. But we gotta get to the weaknesses, okay? So weaknesses, I'm gonna need some weaknesses. First one is the one that I told you guys to remember, but don't worry, I remembered it too. He can only explode his scales if he is close enough to them. So he cannot just explode any of his scales that are just like anywhere in the world, right? Obviously, he has to be a certain distance to them for them to be exploded. And so if he's not close enough to them, they won't explode. I think it's just low rank for hunters, but a better monster fight. I think I do like Najarala's fight. I like a lot of low-ranking monster fights. Nibblesnarf, Dashiguma, Malfestio, Quetzalwacha, Celtis. There are just a ton. There's a ton of low-ranking fights that I love. What else? What is he weak to? Thoughts? What is he weak to? Like, what element is he weak to? You know, I could probably just, like, look this up. It says water and ice, but what's his biggest one that he's weak to? I don't remember. Is it... I think it's ice, no? Ice? I do believe that we need more snake wyverns in general. Okay, real quick question for everyone in the chat. Would you guys be mad if they made an entirely new snake wyvern in Ascendant, which is Wild's expansion, but they didn't bring back Najarala? Or would you rather them bring back Najarala in Ascendant, but not make a new snake wyvern? Ice? Okay, well, thank you, OG. I did. That was exactly what I was talking about, but, you know. I'd be livid. They should bring back Najarala back and make a new one alongside Dalamadur coming back. Okay, Volcano, you might be a little bit greedy. That is true, though. That is true that I do believe that Najarala... wouldn't be... A bad matchup for Najarala is, like, aerial assaults. Doesn't have a way to counter... aerial. That says Airedale. That is not aerial. Assaults. Now, I was about to say that he couldn't, like, jump up and try to grab a monster, but, like, Rathalos just shooting him with fireballs. I mean, he can't really do much other than dig underground. And he can't dig underground, but it's like, it's either he digs underground and he leaves, making him like the loser of the interaction, or he has to come back up eventually. I think a new one could be good because the snake wyverns become more memorable of there are more members, maybe. I get what you're saying, Wingman. Yeah, I kind of see that. Me personally, I want both since I love Najarala, but I also want to see more snake wyverns. Is Hirabami a snake? Hirabami is snake-like, but he's a Leviathan. Rathalos did try to tackle Uthduna. That is 100% true, but Uthduna also doesn't really have, like, a way to, like, solve for the whole aerial attack thing. The only reason Uthduna was able to get Rathalos is because Rathalos literally got close enough. If Rathalos didn't do that, Uthduna would still be getting hit by fireballs. So the same does apply. Oh, come on, guys. We have to... Well, okay, hold on. Biggest element weakness is ice. I mean, there's gotta be more, right? I mean, surely there's more. There's gotta be more weaknesses. Come on. I thought he was until the fight started. Damn, that's crazy. Imagine like, oh my god, another snake wyvern. Wait a damn minute. Wait a fucking minute. I'm really trying to think about like weaknesses. I bet if Viper was here, he'd probably be like, here's like 5 weaknesses he probably has. It's like, and I'm looking for like specific weaknesses, not like weaknesses to Najarala, not weaknesses to like other monsters. Like, if you were to get hit by Raidow's railgun attack, that hurt him. It's like, yeah, but I also feel like that hurt pretty much any fucking monster. Damn, I can't really think of anything else. Najarala weak to the big suck. You guys are fun. You guys are crazy. I'm trying to think. His limp? No. No, because that kind of works in his favor. Oh, if a monster has a good self-defense, he's kind of cooked. No? So think about it like this, right? Like monsters he probably shouldn't go up against. Brachydios. That slime getting on him will just kill him. It killed Agnactor. It can just kill him. Gore. Not a good idea to wrap around him. Right? Something like Legiacris. He can wrap around Legiacris, and he could theoretically constrict Legiacris, or a monster the size of Legiacris. However, Legiacris can literally just shock his entire body with the thunder element. Right? What's another monster? Obviously, like, Valhazar, but that's like an L dragon. Jin is probably a bad matchup for him. Big, like, just as big, bulkier, can use AoE. So, I think that he is weak against monsters with very tough armor. Fangs can't penetrate. I will say that, what do we think? Okay. Do you guys think that Najarala could beat a Celtis Queen? Yes or no? I think it'd be hard. It might be like a high diff fight. Considering Najarala can literally like break things with certain frequencies, so this could like kind of fuck up her armor. But her armor is really good. And if we count Celtis Queen with Celtis, because Celtis Queen can always call upon a Celtis. I don't know. He'd have to work for it, and it probably wouldn't be worth it. That is true. Plus, Yaz would probably be able to fight Najarala. Plus, Yaz would 100% be able to fight Najarala. Najarala fails at any monster with the get the fuck off me AoE button. That is true. Okay, so we'll do that. Any monster that has a AoE that that can put an AoE on themselves is a hard counter to Najarala. Examples. Legiacris. Gormagala. Jindahad. I felt like I just said another one, no? Oh, Brachydios. Etc. Although Brachydios isn't so much a, like, area of effect, but it's like, if you coil around him, you're going to get hit with the blast slime, and that will just kill you. Monsters with very durable and hard defenses are a bad counter to Najarala. I live in Sweden. It's like 11 a.m. and I haven't slept. Bye. Okay, bye, Wigman. Bye-bye. I think he could potentially ambush and win against Rajang. I also think that could be the case. Every brute wyvern would trounce Najarala. I don't know if every brute wyvern. Are you saying Barioth or not Barioth? Baroth could trounce Najarala? Is that what you're saying, Ash? Are you saying Baroth over Najarala? And truthfully, I mean, fucking Anjanath, I think, isn't even the best. I think Najarala could win against Anjanath, too. Although, he could, I mean, Anjanath could also win. Because he's Anjanath. But, like, there's not, like, every single brute wyvern would just, like, win against him. Okay, those are good weaknesses. So, for weaknesses, here's what I got. He can only explode his scales if he's close enough to them. Doesn't have a way to counter aerial assaults. Biggest elemental weakness is ice. Any monster that can put an AoE on themselves is a hard counter to Najarala. Example, Legiacris, Gormagala, Jindahad, Brachydios, etc. I also explained right now why Brachydios isn't necessarily AoE, but you shouldn't call around Brachydios. We've seen Agnactor do it. That guy's fucking dead. Monsters with very durable and hard defenses are a bad counter to Najarala. What do we think? We think that's good? Hey. Okay, so I did some more math. If Najarala got a full body squeeze on something, is equivalent to approximately 16 million PSI. In total, that seems about right. In total, that seems about right. So, what are we thinking? Are there any other notes that we should put down? Yes or no? Because if not, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's kind of it, no? I guess normally we would have more to talk about, but I guess because Najarala is so, like, kind of straightforward, and we don't even see that much of Najarala, there's not, like, too much to talk about. I mean, we did talk about him for, like, 2 hours, so there is that, but, you know. So do you guys think that's a good list for strengths and weaknesses? I think it is. For a monster that only has one cutscene. That's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, shit. Oh, my chest is popped. Oh, fuck. If only Capcom did neglect the species. That's true. I think if we talked about title Najarala, we would be able to egg on more. Although, I mean, if I'm being honest, I kind of don't really care to power scale Najarala right now. Yes, he is Najarala, right? It's title Najarala, but like we will only be able to get like certain things for like weaknesses. We'd say like, oh, he's weak to like fire or something, right? And then he has like 2 extra abilities, or he's this thing, he lives here, he can overcome the frenzy. Like, there's only like a literal handful of things that you could talk extra about Najarala. Or title Najarala. Let's see here. So, low-key, we are kinda done with Najarala, which is something I didn't think was... I thought we were going to spend like 3.5 hours. We spent like 2.5 hours talking about Najarala, which is interesting. So now I have to kind of like, damn, like, what do we play a game? Do we... There isn't, but so much information to go on. There isn't that much information to go off on. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think this is... Wait, hold on. So, we have to answer the question, right? We have to answer the question. How powerful is Najarala? We have to answer the question. How powerful is Najarala? Do we think he's Apex level? Like, do we think he could take on a Zinogre, a Nargacuga, a Barioth, a Rathalos, a Misune, a Glavenus, an Astalos? Or do we think he's like barely under? Like, he's about the same, but he could like still easily die. Like, what do we think? Me personally, I think Najarala could confidently take down monsters on his threat level. So Rathian, Barioth, Nibblesnarf, Kezu, monsters on his threat level, Nursilla, monsters on his threat level, I believe he could just beat. And it does low-key, like, Najarala's, like, matches who he could win against are heavily matchup-based. Again, he goes really good against Odogron. Odogron is a great matchup against Najarala, because Najarala has, like, almost every advantage. Almost every advantage. Meanwhile, someone like Brachydios is a horrible matchup for Najarala. And they're both Apex monsters, so it really depends. Okay, I'm gonna say something. Let me know what you guys think, okay? I'm gonna need some yes or no's here, okay? Najarala is a mid-tier monster. So, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Oh, I have to say this again. Najarala is above mid-tier monsters like Rathian. However, he isn't quite on par in general with, like, the most generalist base, the generalization of Apex monsters. However, he can take on Apex monsters given specific Apex monsters. So, Najarala is like the midpoint between mid-tier monsters and Apexes. He's like the mid-tier. Like, there's nothing really mid-tier, there's like really no mid-tier monsters that can truly like confidently beat a Najarala. But Najarala also doesn't beat like almost every single Apex, and he's on like their level. So he's like a weird... So we'll just say this. He's the middle. He's in between mid-tier and Apex level monsters. He's in the middle there. He's the middle tier there. Hello, Certix. Hello. He's a mid-tier monster with favorable matchups with Apexes. You see, I don't want to say mid-tier monster because, like, if you were to say mid-tier monster, that is a monster that is relative to the other monsters. And just quite frankly, Najarala isn't relative to, like, a Kezu. I'm sorry, he's just not. Right? That's why I'm saying he's like the in-between between mid-tier and Apex level. I mean, okay, we could just say this. He's like the top of mid-tier monsters. Because even Apex monsters have, like, brackets in a sense. Like, Anargakuga is not beating Brachydios' ass. I'm sorry, that's just not happening. Right? Even though they're both considered kind of Apex monsters, right? So we could just say that Najarala is the top of mid-tier monsters. It's probably, like, the strongest mid-tier monster out there. Gotta go. I'm gonna pack for LA for the weekend. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Ash. See you in a little bit. What do we think about that? Najarala is like the top of mid-tier monsters. And because he's the top, he could even fight some Apexes, but like not all of them. And he would still have to put in the fucking work with every single Apex that he would necessarily try to fight. What do we think about that assessment? By the way, the moment I said I think that's it for Najarala, like the viewership went down by like 10 people. That's so funny. They're like, "You're done with Najarala? All right, I'm out of here." Hey, I mean, people got the answer, you know what I'm saying? People got the answer, now they're skedaddling, which is completely okay. I don't really have an issue with that. Peace? Are you saying peace because you're leaving? If that's the case, bye OG. If that's not the case and you're saying peace to Ash, then thank you for saying bye to Ash. Despite we haven't seen Najarala have any turf wars, I think it's still fair. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. That he's the top of mid-tier monsters. I feel like that's fair to say that. Because again, he is very clearly above like a Nibblesnarf. He's above a Kezu. He's above a Kongalala. He's above a Blanganga. He's above a Rathian in my opinion. But he's not quite on the exact same level as like even mid-tier on average other monsters of Apex monsters, you know what I'm saying? Is huge in size is the most important factor when it comes to animals fighting, so I think that's fair. Yes, he is like one of the biggest monsters or one of the longest monsters that are not elder dragons. Definitely outranks like Kezu and Baroth. Yes. That's why I don't want to say that he's specifically just mid-tier rank. I want to like preface that he is like the top of mid-tier and like maybe like on the lower side of Apex. He's like the in-between there, right? Because saying that he's mid-tier makes me think, oh, so he's gonna have like a high diff fight against a Blanganga. No, he's fucking not. No, he's not. Blangango's gonna get fucking washed. Again, the thing that also really helps him is the fucking paralysis. That shit's crazy. Because get a few bites off on, then start constricting, that monster is not going to be able to fight back as effectively. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. A Lapera as an element? Oh, it's not an element, it's status. I'm not too sure what to do now. I mean, we could do some reactions. You know, we could do some... Yeah, we do some reactions. Well, Title Najarala, usually subspecies are a bit stronger than the base. Usually yes, not all the time, but usually yes. And Title Najarala is stronger. Title Najarala, in my opinion, is Apex level. There are not a ton of monsters who I can see. Well, okay, that's kind of glazing a little bit too much. I don't say there's not a lot of monsters who I can see winning against Title Najarala. There actually is, but like. Title Najarala versus Narguga. Title Najarala, in my opinion. Title Najarala versus Rathalos. Title Najarala, in my opinion. Like, Title Najarala is just, like, definitively stronger. And he does have a ranged option. You know what I'm saying? He has a ranged option. He has a size advantage. He also now technically has an element. Which means he goes even more... He does better against... certain types. He just has more, you know what I'm saying? So he's just a bit stronger. See my last message spot? Maybe. Slick, despite we haven't seen Najarala. Oh yeah, so I already read your thing. Slick. Herm. I think that's fair. That was the last message that you technically said, Volcano. Or at least that's the one that's last said. The one before that one was... Last for another comparison, Najarala's squeezed equivalent you being hit by 1,343 T-Rexes simultaneously. Whatever the hell getting hit by them means. But that's crazy. Hello, Wonder. I need to get other Monster Hunter games to know what y'all are talking about. Listen. You should just get it in general. Just get other Monster Hunter games. They're great. I gotta go. Dinner and whatnot. See ya, man. Okay. Mike Rock. I'm here. Just here for the fun, low-key. Hey, and I appreciate you being here. I am trying to find us a video to react to. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of almost want to play Minecraft because there are certain things I want to do, but at the same time, it's like it's not Minecraft today. It's Monster Hunter. We gotta do some Monster Hunter. I'm trying to find shit. Here, what about this? This? No. There's Marathon. Oh, you know what? Let's watch another Dead Upon Mari video. I've been meaning to do that. You know what I'm saying? And what place better to find a Dead Upon Mari video than my channel? And then I have a link here. Yes, sir. So Najarala is strong or mid? No, Najarala is pretty strong. Najarala is fairly strong. Najarala is fairly strong. Mari over here, Dead Upon Mari, did videos on Arkveld. And I kind of want to see them. Damn, this was a year ago? Mari, you have not been uploading, gang. Damn, I just realized Mari, Mari, like... You got 4 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 11, and then a year. Damn, Mari. But it's fine. We'll still watch it. Just because it's a year old doesn't mean we can't watch it. Can I get Najarala for Christmas? I don't know. You gotta ask Capcom. Or you can't ask Capcom. I'm sorry. You gotta ask Santa. Ask Santa. Hopefully soon going to go Generations Ultimate for the Switch 1. Or 2. Okay, cool. That'd be cool. I remember a video on Team Common Shark with Najarala repelling a tiger by scaring him. You know what's so fun? You know what's so funny, Wonder? We literally saw that in the Unnatural History channel. We saw that. He used the clip of that from Team Common Shark. But anyways, it is time to watch some Dead Upon Mari, which is Arkveld, an amazing new flagship. From what I understand, she's going to analyze Arkveld. And she did really good analysis on Magda Malo. So, no shit, really? Yep, you missed it. I'm sorry, Wonder, you missed it. But, we're gonna watch this.
There's a lot of thought that goes into the design.
So, we're pretty much done with Najarala right now. I'm sorry. Najarala actually didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take to power scale, but that's mainly because he only has a few game appearances, and he only has, like, one intro cutscene, and then, like, that's pretty much it. Despite that, though, we got a good amount of notes off on him, but we spent, like, two and a half hours power scaling Najarala, and now we're basically done. Language, please. I already cussed enough. Oh, okay. My fault.
Design of a monster, and even more so when it comes to the flagship. When you look at these monsters, you should instantly get a sense of what they're supposed to represent, whether that's being a ninja panther that stalks its prey in the darkness, a tiger that's suited with an armor of a fallen samurai and is the manifestation of the souls it slayed, or a jet dragon that looks like a scarlet star in the sky before it comes crashing down at you like the meteor that made the dinosaurs go extinct. But aside from looking amazing, these flagships must also illustrate the story and themes of the respective games through themselves, a task that elevates them to the next level. It's not an easy job, especially when it comes to creatures that aren't able to speak a single word. But Monster Hunter is able to excel in this department, and the newest addition to the series, Arkveld, is no different. But before we get into the video, I want to say
Hunter, spoilers! Spoiler warning, okay? Spoiler warning. If you have not played Wilds, spoiler warning. Warning. Oh my goodness! Spoiler warning. Sorry, I don't know why I was doing my Longhorn impression. Yeah, warning.
that we will be discussing heavy spoilers, so if you haven't finished Wilds' main story yet, I suggest beating it and coming back when you're done. The first glimpse of Arkveld we get is at the very beginning of the game, something that is rather uncommon for flagships. Usually, we stumble upon them around the middle section of the game, where their introduction shakes up the momentum of the story. However, with
That is true. I mean, well, actually, that's not entirely true. That's kind of true for new gen, but for like for you, I guess generations in GU kind of, because you don't really have a story with them. Nurki Kante wasn't in the beginning. Though Kana was in the beginning, actually. Rise Magnamalo wasn't in the beginning. Sunbreak Malzeno wasn't in the beginning. Okay, she kind of has a point. Although there are definitely cases of the flagship coming in the beginning, but it's not always.
Arkveld, Wilds makes sure that you are well aware of
I hope next stream will be focused on Gormagala. Maybe. Dear reminder to drink water, everybody. I'm already drinking water. Don't even worry about that.
the danger it possesses. It is seen thrashing about and decimating everything in its path as people run away from it in terror, which sets the mood of Wilds' more serious and grounded narrative. Its rapid attacks are what kickstarts everything, as we are soon given the task of reuniting Nata with the same people that were seen being attacked by Arkveld. As we journey through the Forbidden Lands, we eventually get our first good look of Arkveld, as it invades the final moments of our hunt of Uthduna. Appropriately named the White Wraith, Arkveld is a monster that is clad in pure white with glowing purple veins that flows throughout its body. Its design is similar to that of a Viking, with its horns resembling a helmet, the fur along its body a layer of wolf skin, its rigid and sharp scales as its armor, and its whip-like blades on its arms as its weapon. Just from a first glance, Arkveld is the definition of a rampaging warrior, and its aggressive nature continues to be put on full display through its actions, as it viciously strangles Uthduna with its tendrils before flying away. I want to comment on one small detail that I think is quite neat in this section though, and it's that when you are carving Uthduna's body after the cutscene, the usual victory music doesn't play, but instead is replaced with an unsettling melody of synth and piano.
Interesting. I probably noticed it subconsciously, but I didn't think about that.
This motif, as well as its specific instrumentation, is a key component to Arkveld's theme that we will soon hear in the future. So, not only is this moment great for setting the atmosphere of the scene as you are left with Uthduna's strangled body laid out before you, but also an amazing sliver of foreshadowing, as small as it may be. But, as we move along, these attacks against the apex predators from Arkveld become a common sight, slowly piecing together the idea that it wraps these monsters with its whips to absorb its energy to charge itself. However, we don't truly get the full picture until we finally reunite Nato with his people, the Keepers. Up until this point, we are under the assumption that Arkveld is nothing but a ravenous beast that annihilates everything that it sets its eyes on, especially through Nata's perspective. But, in reality, it is a prisoner of the same sins that tie both Nata and the rest of the Keepers committed by their ancestors, those of the ancient civilization of Wyveria. Wyveria was once a dominating kingdom that often experimented with methods that would elongate the longevity of their reign. One of their solutions was creating the Guardians, artificial copies of existing monsters that were meant to protect their land and follow their every order. While we don't know how long this lasted, this all eventually backfired on the kingdom, as one of their most powerful creations, Xochitl, turned against them and brought them to their ruin. In the end, all the remaining Guardians fell dormant in their cocoons, with the Keepers watching over them as a form of repentance for the pain that was inflicted upon them by their ancestors. Guardians were meant to be mindless slaves, not needing to eat or reproduce, and instead were completely reliant on the Wilk produced by the Dragon Torch, another one of Wyveria's creations, and the reason why all the weather abnormalities throughout the Forbidden Lands were happening. When looking at the list of all the current available Guardians, they're all rather aggressive but powerful monsters. While it isn't specified, we can assume that all these monsters were specifically chosen to become Guardians due to their capabilities. For example, Virgo Anjanath was most likely chosen over regular Anjanath due to it being the stronger variant. The reason why this is important is because the people of Wyveria purposely took these hyper-aggressive monsters and tried to temper their natural natures by turning them into obedient and docile Guardians. We can gather this idea from Xochitl specifically, as it describes.
Oh, hold on. Head armor imbued with Xochitl's soul. Fights the urge to eradicate all. Chest imbued with Xochitl's soul restrains the impulse to crush everything in its past. Armed guards imbued with Xochitl's soul, which suppresses the desire to devastate the world. Resists the instinct to obliterate all living things. Denies its all-consuming thirst for termination. Damn, bruh. Damn. Xochitl, chill.
Descriptions from its armor set infers that the Guardian side of it dulls its bloodlust and destructive tendencies in order to be controlled. So the same can apply to the Guardians and, most importantly, Arkveld. Despite having the attire and personality of a warmongering Viking, it was originally meant to be a noble protector of Wyveria. We can gather this from how each of its craftable weapons are named after the Knights of the Round Table from Arthurian legend, all of whom are remembered for their chivalry and loyalty. And while there isn't an official explanation behind what Arkveld's name truly means quite yet, there are a couple of ideas that all lead to the same picture. Starting with its Japanese name, Arushiberudo is a mixture of albedo, which means white in Latin, and Schwert, which is sword in German. The white part of its name could be a direct call to its color mostly consisting of pure white. But I also believe that, since the color white often symbolizes purity, divinity, and innocence, that these are the same qualities that the people of Wyveria expected and forced upon Arkveld. Though, in other countries, white can also symbolize death and rebirth, which can also apply to Arkveld, and we will come to understand this later down the line. Meanwhile, the sword portion of its name can, once again, be a direct nod to the blades on its arms, but also the idea that Arkveld was meant to be nothing more than a weapon to Wyveria, perhaps even a sword of justice in their eyes. As for its English name, there are multiple possibilities, one being its name is composed of the Norwegian words for archaism and power or reign. The first half representing archaism could refer to Arkveld originally being an extinct monster, a creature of the past being brought back to life, as well as Wyveria being an ancient civilization. This links perfectly to the other half representing power or reign. As while it can be symbolic for Arkveld's strength as a monster and a guardian, it can also be for Wyveria's kingdom and how they dominated the land before eventually falling. Another possible explanation is that the name is split between Ark and Weld, an idea originally brought up by one of my chatters during a stream. Diving deeper into this thought, Arkveld could potentially come from Noah's Ark, where 2 of each animal is brought onto a ship to avoid a massive flood that wiped the earth of corrupted life.
You know, this is what I'm kind of saying about Dead Upon Mari. Like, if I were to have watched her Malzeno and this Arkveld video, and then the Magnamalo video, I would have just assumed that it's just an analysis on the monster, right? However, because my first video that I watched of Dead Upon Mari was the Magnamalo one, yeah, I kind of got misled by the thumbnail and the title. But she's doing pretty good. I'm very much... Okay. Just clean slate. Alright, take it from the top. I very much respect how in-depth she's looking into certain monsters, considering I don't even do that. And, you know, like, a lot of people don't... Like, I don't want to say it like this, but a lot of people kind of don't truly care. Like, a lot of people will just think of it as, like, cool, right? Like, think of it like, cool, right? Meanwhile, people like Mari over here are, like, thinking about it like symbolism, what everything means, little interactions like the music after Arkveld is done sucking the soul out of Uthduna, right? It's these little details, and it's someone bringing up these little details and talking about it so fondly that makes her content very interesting. At least when it comes to the analysis of monsters. I don't know. Again, in general, do people really think about this stuff this much? No, not at all. But it is nice to see that someone does, and they like talking about it. Personally, I hate Magnamalo. He looks like a 10-year-old designed him, not gonna lie. Then you must hate Gore. You gotta hate Gore's head ass. No way. I mean, I'm fine with Magnamalo. I'm fine. I literally, I have an entire video talking about my grievances, things I like, and blah, 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 blah. Right now. Right? It was my latest video. But, so I'm not gonna get into it. But, yeah.
This could once again be linked to how Arkveld was originally extinct, but was brought back to life at the will of Wyveria. It is also said that, in the story of Noah's Ark, the animals would protect Noah and his family if anyone were to try to keep them away from the ship, much like how Wyveria created the Guardians to protect them. Additionally, because Noah built the Ark from the word of God to preserve life, this could parallel Wyveria acting almost as gods themselves by toying with the very ways of life to save their own. This is combined with the Veld or Weld half of its name, as, similar to Arkveld's Japanese name referring to the German word for sword, the Guardians are their personal weapons that they melded together and wielded. Since the start of its forced rebirth, Arkveld was constructed to be nothing more but a false knight with the sworn duty of dying for the people that caused all of its misery. However, slowly but surely, Arkveld began to break the confines of its guardian self. While guardians do not have the need to eat and thus have no reason to hunt other monsters, we are soon shown Arkveld beginning to feast on the bodies of guardian sacreds, and afterwards, we finally get our first fight against it. Arkveld continues to defy the knightly image placed upon it by Wyveria with its ruthless...
You know, they might have explained this in... And, you know, it's funny, Mari actually might explain this in the video. And they probably did explain this, or at least theorize in Wilds, and I never paid attention. But is there a reason why Arkveld specifically is the one that kind of, like, broke out of its, like, guardian mentality to like literally do the whole Jurassic Park life finds another way. Like it literally unextinct itself, which from what I understand, no other Guardian has done or has even tried to do. Like I love every monster but him. Nah, I pass. His design is too much. I know seeing him same room with Zashiguma, like Spot said in his video. Hey, I'm glad you watched the video. I don't hate Magdamela, but I do prefer the other two 5th gen flagships. True. Plot armor, for me, I think Magdamela is cooler than Nergigante, in my opinion. Now, me personally, I think I think Magdamela isn't as cool as Nergigante. I like Nergigante. Out of the 5th gen, Nergigante might just be my favorite. Flagship is what I meant. Flagship.
And hulking moveset. Each attack it has feels heavy and full of violent intent, as Arkfeld throws its whole body with each swing it throws. Despite not being able to speak, you can still feel pure rage emanating from it, but it still doesn't feel like the full picture is there, and the track that plays during this fight solidifies this idea. The first thing you hear is the synth slowly creeping in and growing in volume. The synth is quite cleverly used in WoW as a soundtrack, because it's often used in tracks to symbolize guardians. We can hear this directly from the hunting horns, where the melody heard from hunting horns made from normal monsters use regular instruments.
Oh shit, is that Rathalos?
But the hunting horn using guardian parts always have the synth.
God damn, every single Rathalos weapon just looks so fucking cool.
The usage of the synth not only warps the melody to make it sound eerie and alien, but is also an instrument created by electric waveforms and is thus an inorganic instrument, similar to how guardians are in comparison to other monsters. Eventually, with the synth comes the sound of a clock ticking.
I always heard the clock ticking thing, and I don't know why my dumbass was like, oh, that's the timer. Why would it be the timer? That happens with, like, no other monster. But I have heard of it. I've always liked it, too. Hello, Boone.
Because guardians are meant to live on forever in perpetual servitude or stay in slumber in their cocoons, they have been frozen in time. But because Arkfeld is starting to break free from this endless cycle, the hands of its clock have begun to shift. This is added upon with the slow heartbeat that soon joins it. This, combined with the slow crawl of the melody, shows that Arkfeld is getting closer and closer to coming to life. The dreary and sluggish pacing of the song gives an almost zombie-like sensation, the heaviness similar to that of trying to wake up from a deep slumber, but constantly getting dragged in and out of consciousness. However, it should be noted that there is a lot of repetition throughout this theme. While the heartbeating clock signifies Arkfeld's growing sentience, it is also slow and at a constant rate. It is controlled, much like the hold Wyveria has over Arkfeld. The synth that acts as a base of a song also plays the same notes throughout the entire song, and is often clashing with the other authentic instruments of the song that represent Arkfeld's freedom. However, as the synth and the other instruments fade away, the heartbeat in the
Looking.
Clock take focus once more, before the strings play the main motif of Arkveld's theme. Although there are no words to be said, you can feel a sense of anger and bitterness from the strings. The way the notes tremble paints the picture of Arkveld being unstable and on the verge of losing control. So, while it seems like Arkveld is so close to finally waking up, it may not be the happy ending it deserves, and instead may pave the path towards more misery. Additionally, within the strings that are coated with unsteady fury, there's also a hint of sadness, and Arkveld's motif being played a second time with the brass soon after echoes this sentiment.
God damn it, this happened like when I was watching her video or my reaction. Man, I'm just like so invested. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I never thought about it like this. Holy shit. Hey, what the fuck? Mari, what are you doing here? I just wanted to pop in to say thank you again for reaction video and just scared by my voice. Thank you so much. This is so cool. I can't get over this. What are you doing here? I got done with power scaling Najarala. We already have his weaknesses that strikes down in notes and everything. So we already have the final verdict on like his power scaling. But turns out didn't actually last that long. We only did it for like 2.5 hours because there's only one snake monster, him. Yes, it's Dalamadur, but he's an elder dragon. And then he only has one intro cutscene. And then he's only in a few games. So there wasn't like a ton to go off of. So I was like, damn, I'm like, so now we're done with Najarala. What can we do? I'm like, what else can we do here? And I was like, oh, you know what? I was meaning to watch some more Mari's like videos. I was like, let me watch the Arkveld one. And we started watching it. And I told everyone, I was like, isn't it so cool that like a lot of people would kind of just like not think about like this stuff this much, but like seeing someone be invested in like the smaller things and bring up like, hey, think about it like this instead of just thinking about it like how normal people would think about it is really cool, and I'm enjoying this. I don't hear what is she talking about. You don't hear? Okay, I was about to say you scared the shit out of me. I was like, don't tell me you haven't been hearing the video. But no, okay, the video's playing. I'm snooping. What point in How Powerful Is Najarala? Let's find out. We in. Basically done. Yaga, we are done. And now we're just kind of chilling. We are done. We got his strengths, we got his weaknesses, and we came to a final verdict. Which, the final verdict is that he's the pinnacle of like a mid-tier monster that can fight Apex monsters given certain matchups. The snake has been scaled. The snake has been scaled.
The way the brass plays alongside the heart-beating clock paints the image of Arkveld desperately crying out for help into a deep abyss and only hearing nothing back.
Wait a minute, god damn it. I am 12 minutes into this video and I didn't even do the thing. I didn't even do the thing. Gotta leave a like. Gotta leave a like. Gotta leave a like. Come on now. When someone puts this much attention into detail and this much research into a monster, you gotta leave a like. Come on, fellas. What are you doing?
It feels lonely and isolating, and the sentiment only strengthens when the strings grow in volume and the two merge together, both of Arkveld's anger and anguish converging into something more terrifying and devastating. But the
like Barioth plus tier? Well, Barioth is an Apex monster, so not Barioth plus tier, but like can fight Barioth. How about that?
Suddenly gets cut off with the looping of the synth from the beginning, which then transitions into the main motif of Wilds' theme song.
In Rise, he is below Gossarag. Gossarag might be a good matchup for him, purely based on size. Again, he is the top of mid-tier monsters with being able to fight or beat certain Apexes depending on their matchup. Like Odogaron, really bad, like really good matchup for Najarala. Really bad matchup against Odogaron. But, like, Odogaron is, like, a horrible monster to throw against Najarala. Najarala has, like, almost every single advantage.
The way Arkfeld's growing instruments are cut off with the loop of the synth isn't a reassuring sign either, as it tells us that, regardless of how hard it struggles, it is still chained to its guardian self. But the main motif playing afterward,
Damn, dumbass. Fucking hit the wall. Look where you're going, buddy.
Still chained to its guardian self.
I gotta get out of here.
But the main motif playing afterwards with the brass gives us a bit of hope, with it being played so powerfully, showing us that its resolve to continue living is still driving it forward. However, we don't get to see it truly bloom by the time we run into Arkfeld for the final time, where it is now beyond saving. Seeing the mutilated bodies of other creatures isn't a common sight in Monster Hunter, especially in such a savage and brutal way. So seeing Arkfeld surrounded by piles of ripped up monsters with their blood smeared all over the ground and walls is quite unnerving. But despite it being a gruesome sight, it is also a regretful one. Not only has Arkfeld lost all control of itself.
Oh, Mari says something. I really can't express how cool this is and how grateful I am that you found my content worth checking out. I gotta bounce now, but seriously, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a great day. And no issue. Like, no matter the size of the content creator, if they have valuable content in the sense of, like, they put in a lot of effort, it's interesting, right? You got a little bit of humor here and there. I think it's good to check out regardless. Now, I will say something, unless you're gone already, I'll say it just in case you're still here. I would very much appreciate it if you did this kind of analysis video on Seregios. I'm just saying, I would most certainly react to that. You know what I'm saying? I would 1,010% react to that video. But, no, great video, great stuff. I'm enjoying this. You have a great day, Mari. Everyone say bye to Mari.
But it's also a sick twist in the sense that the first instinct that animals have, to eat, is the one that pushed it over the edge. Even when a creature is first born, it immediately seeks nutrients in order to...
Damn, fucking fat ass over here. Fucking... I haven't seen this much meat since being in the Rotten Vale. Arkfeld, you doing too much, big dog.
Survive. And that is exactly what Arkfeld is trying to accomplish even in its adult stage. It is the foundation of life itself, and Arkfeld is desperately trying to compensate for all it has lost in the years it has been a guardian, but it only leads it to its downfall.
You got it, boss?
A small
Hey, I
detail in the
appreciate it.
cutscene leading up to this fight against Arkfeld adds to this as well, as there is a quick shot of Arkfeld's blades dragging behind it as it approaches the hunter. While its blades were seen as a cool design at first, with all the context behind it, we can now recognize
Blades,
the
chains.
design of them are now closer to chains.
Yes! That's the fuck I'm talking about! I knew it! I knew I wasn't the only one who saw that shit. I'm like, oh, those seem like actual chains now. Like the visualization of... Mari, dab me up here. Dab me up.
Up to this fight
Exactly.
against Arkfeld adds to this as well, as there
Like, when you see this, you don't see them as a part of him anymore. You see them like actual chains, like how it was in the promotional art for Wilds. Oh my goodness! Boom! Mind explosion.
some are now closer to chains. The way they are loosely dragging behind Arkfeld, instead of them being locked together, shows that Arkfeld finally broke itself from the curse laid upon it by Wyveria, and is now ready to turn its weakness into a weapon against you. Combined with this detail, Arkfeld's moveset has evolved since the first time we fought it. While the first section remains the same for the most part, you truly get to see Arkfeld's desperation bleed out during its pseudo-second phase. While it is fighting with every fiber
Logan, what is Najarala? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Najarala is the one and only snake wyvern in the entire series. Yes, there's Dalamadur, but he's classified technically as an elder dragon. We already did his power scaling, and we did his power scaling. We did his strengths, we did his weaknesses. We came to a verdict of saying that he is the top of mid-tier monsters with the ability to fight and even beat certain apexes given the matchup. That was the verdict. And now we are just enjoying reacting to some Monster Hunter content. I'm resisting the urge to math out PSI for Dalamadur. I just worry the amount of zeros I have to type out. Bro. By the power of 1,000.
of its body to continue living, and while it's a normal sight to see a monster flee in the middle of a fight, it's especially heartbreaking when it comes to Arkfeld and seeing it muster up the strength to escape the hunter. It is doing absolutely everything in its power to protect itself, feasting on other cocooned guardians after running in order to regain its energy, and this is where its true power reveals itself. Beforehand, we only saw Arkfeld utilizing its ability from its guardian side with it being able to heal itself with a white glow, but now, with all the energy it has drained from other monsters it hunted down, it is able to unleash its pure, unbridled power. Completely contrasting the guardian colors of purple and white, colors that represent nobility, elegance, and purity, Arkfeld's natural attacks come in a blood red hue. It is the usual color that is associated with Dragonblight throughout the series, but is especially symbolic with Arkfeld. Red is a color that is often associated with rage and passion, both of which are the same feelings that Arkfeld harbors with its anger and anguish towards Wyveria and its dedication to discovering its freedom. Its moves with its Dragonblight are explosive, and it is able to show just how strong these emotions drive Arkfeld, but also how
Fuck it, we
destructive
ball
they
that
are to
time?
everything
Alright.
around it. The new battle theme that plays during this fight amplifies these thoughts as well, as it is an eruption compared to the first theme. Instead of the restricted and steady pacing of Arkfeld's first theme that felt like being put under a hazy daze that couldn't be shaken off, the second theme is able to break free from the control and unleash hell with a burst of music.
Oh, I will say... Oh, wait, what time is it? What time is it? It's 4 o'clock. It's 3:55 for me. Real quick, just realized something. I need to go feed my cats, and I also need to feed baby, my birdie. I need to feed my baby. So, I'll be right back. Everyone, take like a 5-minute break. Okay, we're taking a 5-minute break. Okay, we're taking a 5-minute break. Be right back. Go to the bathroom, get some water, get some food, get a little bit of a snacky snack. I shall be right back, okay? Everyone comes back in and they're like, hey, what are we doing? Just tell them that, I'm going to feed my cats and use the bathroom. Alright, see you guys in 1 second. Or not really 1 second, like 5 minutes, but you get the idea. I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Jamari. You know, I'm back. I'm back. Favorite Monster Hunter waifu? Good question. Is Dunspot? Okay. Thank you for having to slave away at a question that I didn't even ask. But thank you anyways, Volcano. How long is Jamalo gonna be gone for? Well, if you would see it, I am back. I am back. He's back.
Break free from the control and unleash hell with a burst of music.
2,117,682,000 PSI. God. That sure is a whole lot of piss.
While the instrumentation of the first theme had the synth and the other instruments fight for control on who takes the main melody of the song, they both play in unison here, adding onto the image of Arkfeld breaking free from the chains and using them against those who defy it. However, despite Arkfeld knowing that it wants to live, it has lost itself to its rampaging instincts, which can be heard with how the notes of the strings sound extremely sharp and almost agitated, like a cornered animal lashing out at anything that draws near. After another section of erratic notes from the strings, there's a section of the brass that follows soon after that plays
Hello, Ryan. Hello.
in a descending format. While this may be a coincidence, we can hear these same notes playing at the beginning of Devil Joe's theme.
Bow, bow, bow.
I described this to act as a countdown of sorts in one of my past videos, with each note signaling to the hunter the very little time they have left to run before Devil Joe spots them.
Did she handle her stamina? I completely forgot that was a fucking thing in the original Devil Joe quest in World.
And I think it works in a similar way here. If left to its own devices, Arkfeld will absolutely decimate the ecosystem and cause irreversible damage, so the section urges the hunter to stop Arkfeld now, as its destructive path is only mere moments away. Afterwards, a more quiet section follows, but it isn't peaceful in the slightest. With how bombastic the song has been thus far, this part is unsettling, especially with the synth taking the focus, as it creates an eerie and alien-like feel to it.
By the way, is she using Chatacabra's fucking hammer against Arkfeld? I mean, this is Guardian Arkfeld, so it's still not like super uber deep into the. I mean, this is high rank at this point, I'm pretty sure. But like, damn, is this high rank? Actually, this actually might be low rank still. Actually, never mind. But it's funny that she's doing Chatacabra's hammer. Gotta love it.
Having this play right after the countdown of the brass, this unnatural portion could allude to the possibility of Arkfeld wrecking the ecosystem. The quietness of it could be how silent the land would be when all the other monsters are left as rotting corpses, with only the synth guarding
Is low rank? Yeah, that's what
Arkfeld remaining. But the momentum of the song is immediately brought back up when Arkfeld's motif plays once again, acting as its battle cry to bring you back into the present. However, it sounds more chaotic than before, with the notes from the strings flying up and down. Even just within this fight, Arkfeld is losing more control of itself by the second. However, despite the reprisal of Arkfeld's motif being a representation of its undying fighting
Damn! Are we just not gonna, this whole time we've been talking about Guardian, we not even going to, like, mention regular Arkveld? I mean, we got, like, 5 more minutes, but, like...
Spirit, the section that follows it reveals the feelings it has deep down inside. With the way the notes sway and tremble, it is a tragic plea for mercy. Since this is at the tail end of the theme before it loops, we can assume that Arkveld is extremely close to death by this point, and yet it still doesn't want to give up on the freedom it dreams of. It doesn't just want to survive, it wants to live, and it is begging the hunter to let it do so. The hopeful sounding brass right after continues on this idea that maybe it could be possible.
Yeah, no, it's... Yes, it's low rank. It is low rank, yes. I said high rank because I was like, it's kind of funny to use Chapter Copper for still high rank, but I was like, wait, this is Guardian Arkveld, it's low rank.
But it doesn't last for long, as the instrumentation returns back.
Dalamadur's full force coil is the equivalent of 1,411,788 T-Rexes biting you all at once. Damn.
Back to its previous intensity, showing that no matter how hard it tries, there is no other option, and Arkveld will only fall further into insanity. This being cemented with the fact that it gets cut off with the loop of the
Is he talking about Najarala or just reacting to Guardian Arkveld? I've already talked about Najarala. In fact, I actually might just have to change the thumbnail and title just so people don't get confused. Normally, whenever I do these How Powerful videos, I have, like, a lot more to talk about. But in truth, I mean, we only spent, like, two and a half hours talking about Najarala. I mean, we already did. Don't think that, like, we just stopped. Just because we stopped. It's like, we are done with Najarala because we power scaled him thoroughly.
from the
My brain is steaming now. That's crazy.
beginning portion. When Arkveld's body finally...
So how powerful was Najarala? I feel like I already explained this like 3 times now. Like, even, like, during this Arkveld video, I feel like I've explained it 3 times. But I'll explain it again. So Najarala is the pinnacle of mid-tier monsters, including things like Blanganga, Nibblesnarf, Malfestio, Rathian, and monsters of that sort. He is the pinnacle. He's like the top dog, the strongest of like mid-tier. There's not a single mid-tier monster that I can think that can confidently beat a Najarala. I mean, is there a possibility that some of them can? Yes, but in a general sense, Najarala is the strongest out of them all. However, not just do I think that he's the pinnacle of mid-tier monsters, I think that he can even beat Apex monsters and is on par with certain Apex monsters in terms of power. However, he's not quite Apex level. It's just that given certain matchups, he does either really good or not so good against certain Apexes. So that's why I'm saying that he's the pinnacle of mid-tier monsters, while also being able to take tango with some Apexes.
Falls to the floor and the hunt is over, there is no victory to be had. Even its death animation is haunting, as it tries so hard to keep itself up, but ultimately falls limp to join the rest of the deceased. At the end of it all, Arkveld was a casualty of Iberia's wrongdoings and had to pay the price on their behalf. But when there's a will, there will always be a way. When the dust from the final battle against Oshia is all settled and done, it is soon discovered that Arkveld as a species was able to find its way back into life, completely free from its guardian bloodline. Since the beginning of its recreation, Arkveld was meant to be nothing
Well, not quite free of the guardian bloodline. This was a year ago, so the final title update didn't come out yet. So, technically, with Arc-Tempered Arkveld, it turns out that he actually can still call upon his guardian powers, despite it not actually being Guardian Arkveld as the Arc-Tempered version. It is, fuck me, I forgot what you specifically call this Arkfeld. But this Arkfeld that hatched from Guardian Arkfeld is not Guardian Arkfeld. It's not a Guardian monster. But he can, at Arc-Tempered level, when he gets to a certain point of his life, or certain battle scarred, he can call upon his Guardian powers. So he's not quite broken free of the Guardian ties.
From its Guardian bloodline. Since the beginning of its recreation, Arkfeld was meant to be nothing but a mindless machine of war for Wyveria, but through its burning vengeance
Okay, Spot, how powerful is Najarala? Okay.
dying perseverance to exist, it was able to outlive the people who doomed it and defy life itself. When its eyes were once blinded and casted with shadows as a guardian, its eyes are now visible and can see the world through its own perspective. Arkfeld's theme also has been reborn in a way as well, as it has completely erased the synth from its instrumentation to show that it has been freed from its guardian side. It still has sections that symbolize its fury and aggressiveness, but instead of it dripping with bitterness, I see it as a way of Arkfeld continuing to carry all of its pain and misery from before to make itself stronger.
Okay, so she is going to talk a little bit about regular Arkfeld. Okay. Oh, it's Abherent Arkfeld, right? That's what they technically called it, or it's something like that. Arc-Tempered Arkfeld is free from the shackles of guardianship, but can manipulate the latent powers of guardians within him. Also, the wild Arkfeld is considered apparent, since it's not the origin. Yes. So, it still has the ties to guardians, but it's not in the sense of it being controlled like a guardian.
It's not
So it's not necessarily like shackled and it's not chained down as other guardian monsters are.
in its past, but rather accepting it as part of itself, and the way the instrumentation is played to be a lot more steadier and composed compared to how it sounded in Guardian Arkfeld's theme is representative of this. But most important of all is the inclusion of Wild's main theme being incorporated back into Arkfeld's final theme. Despite how vigorous and ruthless the instrumentation is for the rest of the song, this section is played so delicately. It is full of hope and determination. It isn't filled with bitterness
Hope and determination. Undertale.
or growing rage like how it was in Arkfeld's first theme, but gentle and pure, as it now blooms into something anew. Being able
Gentle and pure. Meanwhile, hold this fucking dragon nuke.
its first theme, but gentle and pure, as it now blooms into something anew.
Gentle and pure. Ah!
Being able
It
to
just
carve your own
explodes.
path is such a key aspect in Wild's story. We can see it throughout the characters. Nata, the hunter, even the goat Rove. Wilds tells
Yes,
us to
sir,
never
the
settle for
goat!
what is expected of us, and instead reach out and achieve for what we truly wish for. To be boundless, to be free, to be wild. And the motif of
Wild, say that again.
Wild's theme being played in Arkfeld shows that it finally achieved that on its own. Thank you for watching. I apologize that this video took a lot longer than expected. The more I looked into Arkfeld, the more details I kept noticing, and, in return, the more I began to appreciate it as a monster. When I first played Wilds, I didn't have super strong feelings about it, but there are so many hidden details about it when given a closer look, so I really wanted to make sure I got everything down because it absolutely deserves it. But if you enjoyed, it would be a great help if you could leave a like. I also have other videos similar to this one on the channel, and have even more planned for the future.
Damn. Okay. I do think she's a bit underrated. It's just that, by the way, guys should go check out her channel. Her channel is awesome. Go, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Go check it out. Wait a goddamn minute. She's live. She's live. She's live right now. Yo, should we pop into her chat for a second? Should we pop into her chat? I mean, she popped into my chat. Collab. She's currently, fighting, not Risen. Fucking Curio. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm blinking on the name. It's... Fuck, I'm blinking on the name. It's the Curio. Afflicted. There you go. Afflicted. There you go. She's fighting Afflicted Gormagala. Do it? Yeah, you know what? Here. Can I... Yeah, here.
You soon? I was holding on to it. So I didn't open it, and like finally the line started moving. And as the line was moving, I think the person, like the workers there, thought that everyone had the same idea, where they were like, it was sealed, so we were just gonna save it for when we're in the concert, right? But they're like, oh, it doesn't matter, even if it's a sealed drink, if you haven't opened it.
You prefer Afflicted or Frenzy monsters? I prefer Frenzy.
So like, okay, here I go. I'm chugging this. And I'm not to pat myself on the shoulder. I'm a pretty good chugger. Props to how much I drank in college.
What does that mean?
But
what does I'm a pretty good chugger mean? What the fuck?
I'm a pretty good chugger. So I chugged that shit, and like all the people around us were like, chug, 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 chug. I'm like, oh my god. But like, honestly, like as a girly, I was just like, I gotta do it for my girlies everywhere, and I chugged. Unspotable. What the fuck? Hey! Now what are you doing snooping on my stream?
Yo,
Hey, speaking of which, there you are in person. How perfectly timed. I hope you enjoyed the Arkveld video. That was... I still can't believe I caught that.
Oh my god, Seregios! My baby boy. My baby boy Seregios. I enjoyed it. Lol.
Yeah, crazy
Telling.
time to pop it.
I was telling
Hey,
people
it's perfect.
to...
Look who's over here.
And check out your...
But yeah, I
Channel
once
and
again,
song.
man, thank you so much for the reaction video. Like, I really can't wrap my head around it. Like, I really do mean it when I say that I would never thought that my content would ever get big enough to get like a reaction video like that. Like, it is surreal. So thank you so much for that, and like
I get the feeling.
thank you for giving my channel a chance. Like it
Bro.
really means the world to me.
I just reacted. I feel like I'm not doing that much.
Yeah, I really can't say thank you enough. I'm sorry if I sound
She's acted like I gave her a platform.
Seriously, thank you so much, man. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the reason why I said, oh, I gotta bounce, but like, I was just like, and I immediately, it was really funny because when I was watching your stream, I like got completely carried away. So I like lost track of the time. I'm like, oh shit, it's almost time for me to start again. I gotta go. Sorry. But yeah, like
Certex, is that you?
lost track of time because I was so into your reaction to it. I'm like, what does he think? I gotta know. But yeah, seriously though, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Now you get to know how much of a yapper I am in real life too. Hello, hello. Okay, I don't think I'm clearing my stuff here, so I gotta.
We can't just preload, okay? Someone use a flash against Gore.
Like, this past weekend was just crazy. Thank you,
Yo,
I
Art!
appreciate it. We all love laughing. I'm very
Art.
happy to hear that. Sometimes I was like when I was making that comment on your video, I'm like, oh gosh, am I yapping too much? I hope not.
Art, give 100 monies. No, that's a
Yeah, I
joke.
hope you have a good rest of your day, Spottable. Thank you so much for stopping by. And once again, thank you for the reaction video. I really do.
That's a joke,
appreciate it
Art.
so much.
You don't have to. But if you want to
Let's
donate like
have a
$2,
good
that would be funny. Do you want me to do what? That's a joke. I'm not saying that actually.
Wow. What a cool guy. Seriously. What a cool guy.
Ah, I appreciate it. I'll be back. No, you're not. He's joking. I'm not. I mean, if you want to give like $5, $2, that'd be cool.
Oh
I
my,
think
oh my.
I think that'd be
Man,
cool.
Gormagal is
But I'm not. I'm really joking when I say 100.
Pesto got his Kitinator.
I'm really joking.
We know how good he is with.
Oh, hello.
I'm
I'm
Art!
Parker Posey. Can I let you on my summer?
He's not joking. Art, I'm joking. Don't listen to Surtex.
I honest to God was super bad last time I did it, and the only time I was able to clear it was when I was.
I'm just making sure you're not doing it.
really, like, used to the game.
I'm making sure you're just not doing it.
What weapon do you play by chance?
Now give her 1K. No, give me 1K. Fuck that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Pesto. No, Pesto.
Pesto's selling the game.
He was coming your way.
Even better, give all your money to me. No, fuck all that.
It's never your fault.
Okay, I don't think Art's doing it. Which thank goodness. I don't think Art's doing it. I'm gonna have to click off her stream. I just wanted to check real quick, just make sure you weren't going to be doing that. I just wanted to make sure.
Luckily, sharpness isn't really horribly an issue with this build, so.
Alright, now what's another video to go watch? Okay, guys, good night. I'll be sleeping. Okay, bye, Wonder. Bye-bye. Every dollar counts, LMAO. What do you call it? I do think it's fine. Like, she was low-key glazing me. He's like, I can't express how much I'm thankful for you to give me this, like, this opportunity, this chance. And I'm like, damn. Brother, I'm not even at 20K yet. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I really do appreciate the kind words. But I'm like, unless, like, her analytics show something completely different that I don't see. Which, I mean, I don't see her analytics. But, you know, it's like, damn. I would check her live. I mean, she's still live when we end. I definitely would recommend you guys just going check her out. Or checking her stream out. She turned you into a crispy cream special. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. Let's see. What else? In Speedwagon level of glaze from Mari G. Hey, yo!
Like, that is
Art!
so sweet of you. You didn't have to do it. You definitely did not have to do that, but that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. I'll heart it. Thank you.
I love not listening to
Thank you so
Spotable when he
much.
tells me.
That was okay. I need to fix that dodo. I did not realize it did that. All right.
W art.
Mental no.
Everyone say W art.
But yes, thank you so much. It's so sweet of you.
W art. Art, please.
I guess the dono voice also was the lady. She sounds even funnier when the whole thing goes. It's like it's so good, but I gotta fix that.
Yo, what is she
Like,
wearing?
I thought it was the same as my.
Hold
as
on,
the
what's that
PayPal
drip?
one, where it's just.
Hold on.
The British guy, but
What's that
he's there
drip?
too.
Hold on.
But yes, thank you so much. You were so sweet.
The umbrella with the drip. Is that modded? There's no way that's modded. Is that modded? The helmet isn't modded. That's a specific crown from a hard quest to do. I think that's 2 Magdamalos. Fighting 2 scored Magdamalos at the same time.
Oh wait, it is. No, I think it's just regular, right? Not the great.
I'm not gonna lie, she got that shit on. She got that shit on.
Man. His weakness is thunder, if I'm remembering.
But it always becomes a habit for me to just donate to people when Spot goes into streams. No, they are dual blades. Oh, that's dual blades? Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. What else could we react to? What else could we react to? Oh, you know what? Oh, wait, you know what? Before I actually go off and start reacting to me broke, never. No, art works way too hard to be broke. I think it's a secret armor set from the jelly material that she's wearing. It did look like, it looked like the colors, but I don't know if she just colored it that way. Or that was the natural color. I'm not sure. Hello, Shinoger. We have got to change the title. We have got to change the title. And, we gotta change the title and the thumbnail of the stream, because I don't want people popping in here going, hey, why aren't you power scaling Najarala? Because I already did that, you know? Our favorite ancient primordial being going live today. Oh, you talking about... Are you talking about Tiger? I was like, primordial? I'm like, is there a YouTuber who has like the primordial Malzeno aesthetic? You talking about Tiger Gang? No. I don't think he has gotten the green light from his company, or not his company, his Wi-Fi provider, that they're coming back. The man beyond time. I'm not sure. We got like another hour at the very least. There is a video that I might want to react to, but I don't want to keep on. I would be kind of down to play like an hour of Minecraft. Or, wait. Or, do you hunters want... Now, don't tell... Or do I do this? I think it's okay to do this. Do you hunters want an exclusive sneak peek into something I've been working on with Viper and someone else? Oh, BRB, you gotta pick up laundry. Okay, bye, Slick. Out of context, what this popped into my head. What's your favorite monster? Seregios. I gotta ask Tiger how much better life got. Wait, I gotta... Wait, what? I gotta ask Tiger how much better life got better when they made the wheel. When I get a chance. Okay. Okay, bro. Ooh, absolutely. I'm curious. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is a storyboard of what we got planning. Basically, I'm going to give you a piece of the storyboard of something that we are working on. Now, don't take this as... Do not take this as... What you see here will be the end product. It is the storyboard. But I feel like you guys who have been staying with me, even after the Najarala, point, I can give you a little taste. I can give you guys a little taste. How many of you guys would like that? Yes or no? And I'm not even going to give you the entire storyboard. I'm going to give you the first piece of it. The first part of it. So you're going to see 6 images. Seregios, I think, is the best flagship. W opinion. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He is the best flagship. Other than maybe Rathalos. Like, him and Rathalos are tied for best flagship just because Rathalos is, like, Monster Hunter. But, yeah. I'm gonna ask Tiger if it hurt his eyes when God said, let there be. God made Adam, God made Eve, and then there was Tiger chilling in the background. Yes, yes, please. Okay, now I don't want to tell you. Now, here's the thing. Don't be, like, shouting this out to everyone, okay? This is just a little treat for you guys, okay? Just for you guys. Just for you hunters, a little treat, okay? A little treat for always sticking by and chilling and being so reactive to what's being said in the stream, you know? I'm very thankful for you guys. So I'm willing to give you a little treat, a little sample, okay? Now, I do have to tell you this. The art was made by Viper. Okay? Because, not gonna lie, the storyboard, kind of sexy. It's the Monster Hunter Death Battle storyboard? Maybe. Maybe. Or, maybe it's not. Maybe it's for something different. And, is that a lie? It may or may not be. I'm just kidding. It's not a lie. It's actually something for something technically different. But I'll just give you a little piece. So enough teasing. Here you go. I gotta make sure that nothing is like nothing's like being shown. I just have to like make sure that like nothing's being shown. You see that? I mean, that's my Discord. That's Viper. No, seems about good. My Discord, blah blah blah. Da, 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 da. Okay. Here it is. Oh, why? Hunters? Remember that noise? Remember that noise? And I was like, are we still here? It was like it was the beep. And I was asking you guys if you're still here. You guys are still here, right? I found out what that beep was. It's OBS says OBS has crashed. It said that OBS crashed, but OBS actually technically didn't crash because you guys are still here.